there, and welcome back.
What is this place?
Disconnected.
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 Disconnected. Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected. Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
I'm starting to feel disconnected.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Welcome to another Thursday. New intro. I hope people enjoyed that. Been working on that for a while.
Very nice. Very nice.
For everybody who is seeing this gentleman for the first time, I hope everybody goes and opens up that channel in the description in a new tab right this moment and subscribes to my friend, Mr. Carlin Cook. Carlin, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm very excited about this. If I can stay awake.
I'm worried about that too. I've talked about it on here a few times, but what I've been doing recently is staying up until about 1 or 2 in the morning and then waking up at 4:45 to go to work. And this week is particularly bad.
Oh, my apologies for that one. That sucks.
It's a part of the transition, I guess. So Carlin's channel, everybody needs to go check this out because one, you watch a lot of Vinegar Syndrome stuff.
I do.
And a lot of Shudder stuff. And
Yes.
there are a lot of people that will mention both of those things. Very, very rarely do we get in-depth reviews or discussion on every single title from somebody that actually watched them. So, first, I want to find out, because I don't know that I ever heard you tell the story. How'd you first find Vinegar Syndrome?
I think some years ago I had made like a one-time purchase because I wanted Ice Cream Man. Really bad. And then I also was just like, well, I'm not just going to buy one thing. So, you look around. And I think at the same time, I ended up buying Spookies, like just on a whim.
Yeah.
And fell in love with Spookies and was just like, oh my gosh. And then like some years later, I was like, what was that site again? So I eventually went back and then I got very hooked after that.
Yeah, you can tell you're pretty hooked because you get some hauls every month.
Yeah, I have some to show over here too. A lot. So.
Yeah, we're gonna be going in depth into all of those, and then Shudder. You've kind of, like we were talking about before, you got in like on the ground floor with Shudder. How'd that originally happen?
Yeah, so I had gotten Shudder myself and was really enjoying a lot of the stuff that they had on their service. And then I was just kind of like, I want to do movie reviews. Maybe if I kind of hitch my wagon to this kind of fledgling horror streaming service,
right,
that I can get something cool like screeners and be able to do that stuff. And I just sent an email on a whim and they were just like, yeah, because at that point they weren't getting much press. So they're just like, anyone, it's totally cool. So they just sent it and I've just been getting the stuff ever since. So I've been doing it about 6 years now, reviewing all their exclusive and original films, which is at one point it was 4 a month and now they're kind of down to 2 a month, but getting some good stuff.
Yeah, I feel like what they've gotten has cut down, but perhaps gone up in quality. It feels like a lot of the time.
It's here and there. Look, I'll let you in on a secret. One of my things when I get these screeners is that if it says it's a Shudder original and it's made in the United States, it's probably not going to be great.
Yeah.
But if it's a Shudder original made in another country, there is a chance it could be very good.
Right.
So that's just one of my rules. Exclusives could be, most likely exclusives are going to be pretty good, but you never know. Mixed bag.
Yeah. Exclusives, if I'm remembering right, generally just stuff that they're distributing because they saw it somewhere and it was great and they wanted. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. So yeah, tonight after the announcements, we're going to be covering underrated Shudder original / exclusive things that maybe people aren't talking about as much. It's not on my list. I kind of doubt it's on yours because it's getting pretty big press at the moment. But for an example, even though it's getting talked about, one of mine would be The Ugly Stepsister from this year. Mm-hmm. I think it is getting talked about very highly, but also not enough. That movie is kind of incredible. Did you enjoy that one this year? I don't remember.
I really enjoyed it. Right now, of all the new horror films I've seen this year, it's my number 2 behind Sinners.
Same here. I think you were the first one that is aligned with me on that. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We got about 47 comments about a cat in your place. So if it makes an appearance tonight, they would like to see it up close.
Yeah, I have 2. The one is probably not going to make an appearance, Willow, because she's a little bit older. She's kind of settled in. Josie, though, is very active. She's actually running around right now, so you might see her.
Nice. Well, talking about this year, let's before we do pickups, what have you been watching recently? Because I always love hearing you talk about these titles.
Okay, so I have a stack here. Vinegar Syndrome, obviously. And actually, I just the other day did my yesterday just did my video for all the July releases I got from Vinegar Syndrome, ranking and reviewing all of them, because that's what I do every single month for these, for people who don't know. So that's not available for everyone on my channel right now. It's just members have access at the moment for about a week, and then it'll be available for everyone to see. But in no particular order, I'll watch The Rage, Carrie 2, which honestly, I like the movie as like a so bad it's good, plus like 90s nostalgia and this moment of like coming out of the 80s film and feeling like they want to kind of still be ridiculous, but also are trying to be serious with the film. And it's just a weird mix. But I like the movie, but this is kind of not a great release, honestly. Like the movie looks good and I like the movie, but like, first of all, like, what is this? Like what is this? Like, where's the extra artwork? Because people are paying for this. The other thing is there's a commentary track, but then there's like one special feature. Like you couldn't have gotten no essays. Like you couldn't have gotten someone. I would talk about it. Like just get someone to talk about it. Do like a video essay or something.
I think I mentioned this maybe the week after it was announced. Maybe I didn't on here. Maybe it was only in the Discord. But I found out from Justin LaLiberty, they were told they were not allowed to do anything for this disc. MGM is the worst studio to work with, and they literally said you cannot do anything for this release.
Why would they? It makes no sense. Yeah. But I also the Blu-ray did not play either, and I verified that on multiple players.
Oh, wild.
So. But the great thing is Vinegar Syndrome's customer service is phenomenal.
Generally, yes.
Yeah, I emailed them on a Sunday, and the next day they emailed me back like pretty early saying replacement in the mail. Got to me within 2 days after that, and it all good.
They just fine.
So yeah, no problem.
Death Rattle in the chat wants to know if you're on Letterboxd so they can follow up on these.
I am. What is my name? I don't pay attention to things like that. Who am I? I think it's just. Carlin Cook, same. Yeah,
that should be easy when it's on the screen. There you go, Carlin Cook.
Yeah. All right, I can rip through more of these. I gotta be careful with this one. Take Off. I
was like, is it fragile? Nope, that makes sense.
Over the nipples. So this is you and Celeste's fault, because I was not buying adult titles until you guys had that episode where you're like, this is why it's worth buying these adult titles. And then I'm like, yeah, that sounds legit. So now I've been buying a lot of it. And Take Off is a pretty good time. The story is very engaging. The acting is a lot of fun in it. You know, the sex scenes with a lot of these Golden Age films are just like a lot of is the same. You know, like the same scene after same scene after same scene. But as long as the acting's fun and the story's fun, like that's what matters to me most. So yeah, Take Off. I recommend that one.
It's good.
Mac and Me. This was my first time seeing this movie, and I'm a passive person, but I wanted to punch these aliens.
That is a natural reaction to Mac and Me.
Terrible design, but the weird thing about it is, like, I did not like my experience watching this movie, but then when it was over, I was like, yeah, but there's something about it that's calling me back a little bit, and I'm like, maybe I can give it another shot. And then I went through the special features, and then I read the essays, and then that just like made me actually kind of like it. So I am going to keep this, and I'll revisit at some point.
Kind of liking it is better than loathing it, so that's nice.
Yeah, but the special features are great. Essays are great. I'm a big fan of that stuff. Then I also did Yungari, Monster from the Deep. It's okay. It has its own charm, you know, South Korean kaiju film. It has its own charm here and there, but it's pretty slow, kind of hokey.
Are you normally a big monster fan?
Well, I will say that the last 2 years, I really liked what they were putting out in July of Reptilicus, and then the year before that, Gorgo. Love Gorgo. Gorgo's wonderful. And then Reptilicus was a lot of fun. This is the weakest. So I think if they stick with this every July, unfortunately, I think it might be going down. But, still fun to see it one time, and then I can get rid of this. Special features are solid, so that's good. But
the special poster thing they do in all of these is really cool. The X-ray thing.
Yeah. He dances, though. And I was just like, I don't know about that. And then the Card Player, which I had been forewarned by you, the Argento film. I mean, it's a very annoying film in the beginning. In the beginning, like probably at least the first half of it, I was very annoyed by the amount of video poker in it. The fact that you're watching someone play video poker and there's someone constantly screaming while you're trying to watch it. Like, I was overstimulated. And then the score is horrendous for this film. Like, and then you're just like, oh, Claudio Simonetti did it from Goblin? And you're just like, how? And then you find out it's because, and then you find out it's because the lead actress was just like, hey, Claudio, you know what's like really hot right now? German techno. And he's just like, hey, I should try that. And he did. Ugh. But the special features are pretty solid. And I actually liked like the end of the film. Probably the last like half hour or so was pretty fun as like a crappy film. So I think I'm going to keep it. I feel bad about that, but
the first time I saw the Card Player, I think my first thought, similar to that when I found out it was Simonetti again, I was like, wait, all these people that used to be incredible made this movie and they all just decided to be terrible together?
Yeah, they all forgot how to do their craft.
Right. Yeah, what they were known for, what they were lauded for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, then I did the DeGosser 5 Dead on the Crimson Canvas. I mean, I love this artwork. The artwork's a lot of fun. I'm a sucker for Giallo, which is why I got it. It's shot on video. For how low budget it is, there are some pretty impressive practical effects in it, I thought. And, there's the Giallo mystery in it. So I like it as a Giallo homage. There is a special feature on here called Is It Giallo? And they have some dude say it is Giallo, and I disagree. And it's not. I'm one of those people he warns about in the beginning of it, saying there are people who will tell you that it has to be Italian made to be Giallo, and I'm like, yes, that's what I think. That's the
point.
So this is not Giallo homage or parody kind of, but it didn't love it. Pacing was really bad. Special features quite good though. And then A New Leaf, and this is extremely good.
Oh, nice.
I was kind of interested in it. It's like a screwball comedy from 1971. I fell in love with this film from like the first 15 minutes. It is so well written. It is so witty. It's so well acted. It's phenomenal. And then all the special features, like Cinematograph has been doing such a good job, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on their stuff because it's not like the typical Vinegar Syndrome. But this is an unbelievable film if you like kind of dark comedy type stuff.
Yeah.
And Walter Matthau and Elaine May are phenomenal in it. The special features are unbelievable. They have 5 essays in this. I think that's the most essays I've had from one of their releases before, and their essays are always top notch. So this is an unbelievable release, and I think everyone should pick it up. It's so good.
Matthau and Elaine May, kind of always incredible. So
I know.
I knew that was going to be great.
And then I'll just throw this as my last one. I've been liking some VHS Hitfest.
Nice.
And The Killing Tide is ridiculous. This is a shot on video action film. It's like action revenge. And it just goes hard. Like the pacing is unbelievable. I've never seen a shot on video film that has pacing like this. It's just so much fun. There's so much action to it. Really ridiculous characters. The dialogue is horrendous, but in a really fun way. The acting isn't good, but in a really fun way. Like, this is top-notch garbage. Love this film. Killing Tide. get it. It's probably still available, but yeah.
This reminds me, and this is not a this week watch. I was trying to track down the rights to see if I could work with somebody to put this out, but I cannot find the director. So I'm just going to throw it out there to see if anybody else is going to work on this. Similar to VHS Hitfest, go on YouTube and look up a full movie called The Skid Kid. If I remember right, it is from like 1990, and essentially, this is a. I don't even know how to explain this. There is a kid that sits down on the street on nothing and drives, and they film it in stop motion, and it's fucking incredible. It is the most VHS Hitfest title that I've not seen on VHS Hitfest. It is really funny. There's some really genuinely good comedy. I think it came out of St. Louis, so kind of close to home for me. Was really hoping I could find the owner and then go over there and try to interview a bunch of people. But it is a hell of a good time. Everybody should go find the Skid Kid while you're watching this. Put it in your watch later playlist. You'll love it. It is a blast.
Sounds good.
Recent watches. I'm going the exact opposite of you because I watched just a ton of new stuff. This last weekend was a ridiculous 5-feature day back-to-back in the theater for me and my wife, and it was very all over the place. The lows first, because these are less fun to talk about. I don't know why, but I watched Bambi: The Reckoning in a theater this weekend. Bad movie. First of all, the CGI is god awful, but I swear about like 35 minutes of this movie were somebody asking, "Where's your grandma?" or "Where's this person I left you in the room with?" Because now they're missing and now they're in danger. Do not watch Bambi: The Reckoning. It is an absolute waste of time. It's not even fun kills. There's complete nonsensical everything. Why did we make that, guys? Come on.
Not great.
Next one that's also bad, The Home, starring Pete Davidson. Watched that this last weekend. It is essentially Pete Davidson is I think he's meant to be like an older teenager, even though he's like 37 or however old he is. He's probably only like 26, but he's been aged like everything. He is somebody that got in trouble, and now he has been like sentenced to go work in this retirement home. And there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, as it always happens in these movies. And it's real bad for the entire thing. And then the last 9 minutes are batshit amazing. But the rest of it was such a slog, it just completely soiled it. Yeah. This might be the worst script I've seen in years. But at its heart, it feels like Society mixed with all of the worst movies you could ever imagine.
Oh, dang. Because Society got me. Like, I love it.
Right. I love Society, one of my favorite movies of all time. So but then there are the other three that I watched that day, and these are all pretty decent. Not like killer amazing movies, but if you're going to watch them, these are decent. The first one is Oh Hi, which I think is going to go under a lot of radars this year. It is being advertised as a rom-com that isn't necessarily a rom-com. It basically turns into a thriller after about 20 minutes into the film, and it's really good. There's some really great dialogue in this. The script is genuinely strong. It just doesn't go there where you think it probably should go a few times. It's a Sony Pictures Classics title, so it's one of those things that I feel like they could have gone a little further, and maybe like the pressure from all of this was just let's pull it back a little bit, which kind of I feel like it kneecaps a lot of those movies, unfortunately, to greatness usually. The next one, this one is a hell of a swing, and that is House on Eden, which is TikTok stars Selena and Chris Collins. This is a found footage film. Did you see this one?
I think this one's coming to Shudder.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not there yet. I haven't seen it yet, but I know I will be seeing it at some point.
So it's a found footage movie, and that if you're not in on found footage, you're going to hate this movie because it leans heavily into found. Like it's kind of a little too shaky in some of the scenes. This is one of those things that I was more impressed that they made this movie than loved the movie. Chris Collins directed it, and there's literally only 3 people that are in most of the movie. There's like you're driving by somebody in like a couple scenes, or you see a couple questions asked, but that it's literally less than like 90 seconds of other people. The movie's pretty good. The acting is pretty decent. The story is completely believable up until it isn't, which it's a found footage ghost story movie, basically. So, of course. But this is the same sort of thing for Oh Hi. I feel like it could have been great. And then they really only went there in like the last 8 minutes, which that part was genuinely good. But I don't know. For some reason, this one felt a little more promising because it was such an indie director and they were kind of just giving it their all on screen and behind the camera, which is nice. But then the last one, I'm not like huge on Marvel movies or anything like that, but saw the new Fantastic Four and I felt like this movie was aggressively fine. It was just doing everything it could to go right down the middle, give me a strike. And honestly, to be a Fantastic Four movie that was successful, that was all it had to do. It was the best Fantastic Four movie by a long shot. That's not hard at this point.
No.
But it wasn't a masterpiece, or even it barely would get to like mid-tier Marvel over the grand scheme of the rankings for me. I also will say some egregiously terrible CGI at the end of this movie. You're fucking Marvel and you can't get decent CGI to show a baby moving like that. That pissed me off beyond belief because it took you out the entire movie. It was awful. But that's Marvel for you in 2025.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm actually going through. Sorry, actually going through and watching all the Marvel movies with my father. And
how's that going? We're watching them back in.
Our next one is the Eternals, and I'm not excited. I'd seen it before, and I just know I'm in for a bad time again.
I mean, at least that one was a swing and different than everything else, but it still wasn't good.
Yeah.
You do some major Incredible Haul videos, so let's hear your fantastic pickups this week.
Okay. First of all, I got some movies from Diabolic DVD because it had been a little bit since I had ordered from them. And they had a pre-order on Cafe Flesh, and I really wanted to get my hands on this because I found out about the original release of it, which I guess was like the special edition from your podcast, but I listened to it like a week late, and then it was gone. And so I was like, oh, crap, because I wanted to check this out. Because isn't it the same person who did Dr. Caligari?
Yep.
And that is such a weird movie, but I enjoyed it, how weird it was. So I just had to. So I got Cafe Flesh from them. And then I just picked up some other stuff because, like I said before, I can't just buy one thing. I got to make it worth my time. So I got It Follows, which I did believe the second sight release of It Follows. Great film. I typically don't like ghost-ish films.
Yeah.
But this one speaks to me. It's very good. And then doubling up on the Mike and Monroe, I got Long Legs because I love this film. It wasn't like my top 1 or 2 of last year, but it was my favorite of last year. Just love it so much. Like the atmosphere, it's just so good. So also I was Perkins fan, so that's why I also doubled up on him and got The Black Coat's Daughter. Because this is my favorite film of his. I love him so much. Oh yeah. And I was just like, I have to own it. Like at some point I need to own it. So, and then I'm going to force my wife to watch this with me in October. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So then I also purchased, whoops, dropping stuff. Let me go through some of the other Vinegar Syndrome stuff I picked up. I got the Shanghai Triad.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wanted to see that one.
Looks really good. Don't know much about it, but I just, it looked awesome. It's very highly rated from what I saw on Letterboxd. So I was like, yeah, I should get this because it was on sale. I'm like, let's do that. VHS Hitfest Night. I heard this is like some schlubby, homely vampire dude in the city. It looks stupid, but my kind of stupid. So I'm very interested in that. Also I got to look at this one. Is this... All right. I think Tropic Desires or Tropic of Desire and Fantasy Worlds, the double pack. And then, I kind of painted myself back into a corner here. All right, there we go. And then the last place I ordered from is it Travis who owns Odyssey Movies? Yes.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So I wanted to support him, and I saw he had some cool stuff on there, so I made a purchase from his site, odysseymovies.com. So I did my first Indicator, which body double.
Great disc.
Been
really
wanting
good
to
special
see this.
features there.
I've never seen it. Been wanting to see it for quite some time, so I had to get it finally. The Lost Boys on 4K because I don't have it, and I was like, I should. And also, coincidentally, I got this, and then I booked, or I got tickets to go to the Mahoning Drive-In in Pennsylvania to see this on 35 millimeter and a 1 hour concert from Tim Capello before the showing.
That's a lot of saxophone.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Well, he works with this band I really like called Gunship.
Yeah,
and he phenomenal work with that. So I'm hoping he does some of their stuff. So Lost Boys, and then the last two things I got were TerrorVision. Been really wanting Papadopoulos because it just looks ridiculous and fun. And I have to say that like Travis put on the site that like a note with this that it's damaged, and like I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but like that is the extent of the damage.
That's probably it. Yeah.
That's like not damage really to me. Like, yeah, I've had Vinegar Syndrome stuff damaged worse than that. But
all I can say is, have you met anyone on the internet? Because they will
Right.
bitch about that.
No, I know.
Hardcore.
I won't. And then the last thing I got was the Newly Deads, which I've been wanting to check out. So I have some spaces in what I want to pick up from TerrorVision still. So this has helped out. So
when you get to the Papadopoulos disc, please let me know what you think of our visual essay, because man, was it
that's right. You do have something on there. I forgot about that. But
yeah, we got Will in a wig on that disc.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I always try to like show people one of our more like fun side of things that we did, and I can't share that link because there's nudity in it, and YouTube blocks it. So yeah, ruins everything. I have some off the wall picks that are not like normal stuff that I would show, and I just kind of wanted to make it fun, different type of things. So I heard that Hamilton Book was going to be having a really great drop compared to normal this last time, and they did pretty good. There were some really great prices on stuff, but the biggest thing that kind of, I don't know, excited me, I guess, streaming only titles in the US that got Canadian releases. So I picked up a few of these on the extra cheap. This is a Fleabag, the complete series on Blu-ray. This was, I think, either $4.95 or $5.95. Brand new, sealed, legit disc of Fleabag, the complete series, like an Emmy-winning, great TV show for $5 or $6. I don't know how to argue with that. And then Netflix original titles from last year. The Woman of the Hour, which I thought was pretty great last year.
It was good.
And then I haven't seen it yet, but may as well get a disc of it because I can't get it in the US. Hitman, actually released in Canada. I supposedly decent. Have not seen it. But again, like I think those last two were $4, $5.
Wow.
I mean, how do you say no to that?
Right. Yeah. Take the chance.
Exactly. Some off the wall other picks that I don't get to talk about enough. Discotheque's Neon Night series. They've been doing some really great titles that I would normally have to put my finger over like you did, but they do some really creative editing. So this is their Terrifying Girls High School animal classmates. This just came out. Very clever editing on the cover there. I've been trying to get more of these because pretty much every title they've picked for this line has been really fun, and not all of them are adult, risque, pink like this. Some of them are just fun and silly titles. Then on the more pink and risque line, I have got this really bad feeling that some of the old Nikatsu titles that Synapse did through their Impulse line are probably never going to be released by anyone else because we just don't have good elements for them. And so I've been trying to pick up as much of these as I can when I could get them cheap. And I found somebody on Facebook that would sell me, I think I got 9 of these for $10 a piece shipped. And I mean, that's pretty great. So I just shared a couple. True Story of a Woman in Jail. Hell of Love is the first one here. And these are DVD only. And then I never see this for sale anymore. This is the Nikatsu Roman Porno trailer collection that Nikatsu did. I love trailer comps, and I've never seen like a pink film trailer comp. Sounds like a lot of fun.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, they I think they did, and they're numbered on the side. I don't know what the highest number is, but they've got like 60 of them. They only did, I think, 2 of them in Blu-ray out of that entire line. The rest are DVD. We just don't have great elements for a lot of them, unfortunately. So, yeah. Other than that, your channel, we talked about Vinegar Syndrome, we talked about Shudder. You do like trying snacks and stuff on your shorts, but you also have a podcast. Tell everybody about your podcast.
So I quit my podcast.
Is it quit? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I did for 13 years. I did a craft beer podcast, and then I ended up quitting earlier this year because I just gave up drinking alcohol altogether. Because for health reasons, because GI issues basically, and it's just not worth it anymore. But good timing, because the craft beer industry is skewing a bunch to non-alcoholic beers now. And so I am doing a bunch of non-alcoholic beer reviews that I'm putting on YouTube through shorts. And actually, they've been gaining a decent amount of traction because there really aren't people reviewing those on there anymore.
Right.
Or at this point. But there's some phenomenal non-alcoholic beer out there right now. The technology changed, so now it's good. It used to suck.
I know this is not, and I don't even drink, but I'm like fascinated with what is the technology change. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, right. I was going to go into it.
Stuff on your channel. Anything coming up that you want to highlight?
No. Well, I am trying to figure out. So every year, what I would do during October is that I would eat the new edition of the Bean Boozled.
Yep.
So I can't do that this year because I have braces now. So next year I should be fine though. But I'm trying to figure out like what else can I do. So I'm trying to figure out, should I eat something else like gross or something? I don't know. I thought about getting like food grade insects or something to try. Something like that because it's spooky. I mean, I've had some food grade insects before, but
yeah,
I think people get grossed out by that stuff.
Absolutely, they do.
But I don't have anything like super exciting coming up. Just I love doing like my Vinegar Syndrome haul videos or any other random ones that I end up doing. But I get very excited about actually recording the ranking and review videos that I do for those because I think that's super fun. But at the end of the year, I will definitely do kind of a wrap up of like my top, usually 10 or 15 new horror movies of the year, and then I'll do a video the same of my top Vinegar Syndrome releases, which I will tell you right now that A New Leaf is my number 2 so far this year from Vinegar Syndrome.
Huh.
You want to know what number 1 is?
I was trying to think if I could guess based on what I've seen you like in the past. All right, just tell me, what's number 1?
Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
I love that fucking movie.
And the release, the essays and the special features add so much extra context to it. It's an unbelievable release.
I don't remember what you said about. What did you think of the Dirty Work release? Are you into that sort of comedy?
I quite liked it. It was very good. It's on my list.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that they got into it, and I kind of think it's hilarious that so many people are like, "Ugh, why is Vinegar Syndrome releasing this?" It is so perfect. The amount of work that they went into to make that release incredible. Like that is exactly what Vinegar Syndrome's always been about. What the hell?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right. I think that's it. Ready to get into some announcements? Because man, you've got a crazy week. I didn't think it was going to be that heavy, and Jesus, you got some titles to cover.
Well, I'm just excited when we get to Arrow because there are 2 films in particular that I'm pumped about.
Well, they are the first up tonight, and we get to cover The Sadness first. This is one that got announced previously that it was going to be coming through this partnership with Shudder, and it is a UK-only title. This is coming on October 20th on 4K. This is the standard cover art that you'll get everywhere, but if you want, you can order straight from the site and get this ridiculous Johnny Ryan cover art, and it's pretty funny cover art, but I like that it's on the opposite side of the sleeve so that nobody has to feel super left out. Because I don't know about you, I don't order direct from Arrow anymore at all.
I do. I mean, I haven't in probably about a year or so, but I would.
So The Sadness, funny enough, a Shudder original. We'll talk about that in just a minute. This one has a new audio commentary with the writer, director, and the cinematographer on here. 2 different archival commentaries, 5 behind-the-scenes featurettes, some comparisons. A lot of the stuff is just archival from a couple of the other extras that have already come out previously. And then nice-looking slipcover. There's a booklet in here with some older storyboard stuff, and then some new writing by Michelle Kisner, and then the gentleman in the chat right now, Mr. Josh Hurtado, that just corrected me that there are 5 Synapse Nakatsu Blu-rays.
Oh, wow.
Josh, thanks for hanging out. Can't wait to read your essay in this. The Sadness, tell us about it.
It's a gross out, intense, ridiculously violent film from Taiwan, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right.
Yeah, I remember quite enjoying it when I saw the screener before it hit Shudder, and really telling people, hey, if you're like gore hounds and you want some real gross out stuff that's just like over the top, think inspired by like a Takashi Miike type deal.
Yes.
This is your jam, basically. For me personally, I liked it. I don't find myself typically returning to those types of films for like rewatches, but
Same.
It's good. It's a good film for sure.
I love a movie that in the, we'll say, month after it releases, in reviews, you frequently hear the word skull fucking, and that is something that you hear about this movie.
It happened. It happened.
Good movie. It's very much like a send up of how multiple governments handled the pandemic. It's not even hiding that at all. I mean, you can tell that that's the case like 8 minutes into this movie. Well-made movie. I think this was the director's first film. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
he was like a U.S. expat or something living in Taiwan. Yeah.
And he honestly crushed it for a first-time director. Very well made. There are a couple scenes in this that you will likely never forget. I mean, there's the scene on the train that is incredible, and then the basketball court scene is a big one for a lot of people. But I love that you say basketball court and somebody goes, "Oof." Fun movie. If you're not into gore, you will hate this. So do not care. Next up from then, the classic Return of the Living Dead is hitting 4K and Blu-ray in a deluxe edition on October 13th, over in the UK only. Obviously, Scream Factory has the rights in the US, so it's not coming out here, and it will not be able to come out here. This is a good-looking release. A lot of this is on the previous release, but the big thing, the second disc has the More Brains documentary, which is really, really good. Makes this a pretty stacked release. Even that has bonus features, which is nice. But then the big question for everybody that is a purist about this, the Deadbeat Dance is still not on this release. Somehow, Second Sight, in their Blu-ray Steelbook that was released, gosh, we got to be going on like 10 years ago now. They're the only ones that were able to crack being able to get that in the licensing. So not sure what happened there. Nobody else has been able to do it. They replaced it with another song. How do you like Return of the Living Dead?
I really enjoy the film, and maybe I need to get this because I just have like an old Blu-ray. I forget who released the one that I have. Did Scream Factory do it?
They did a blue,
okay.
And then there's a couple, like the studio even did an old blue here, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's the Scream Factory one I have, so I might have to do this.
I bet this is going to be a great release. The Scream Factory 4K looks good. This is likely the same scan, but it's Arrow encoding, so it might even be slightly better, but it'll be at least as good as the Scream Factory for sure. This is
it. This is the one. This is the one.
I'm so glad we're excited about the same one. October 27th in the UK, October 28th in the US on 4K and Blu-ray. Miss 45, Abel Ferrara from 1981. Incredible rape revenge movie that is just a masterpiece that used to be on Blu-ray here in the US from Draft House, has been out of print for ages. For a long time, it was fetching like $80 on eBay. I hope you didn't pay that, because this is a glorious release that will absolutely blow it out of the water. This release, new commentary by, of course, Alexandra Heller-Nicholas. She literally wrote the book. She had to be on the commentary. I'm glad she's on here. New featurette with BJ Colangelo, who is incredible. Great choice for this. New featurette with Kat Ellinger, who will do great. A bunch of archival interviews. Also, short film directed by Paul Rockman. Short film directed by Paul Rockman from both 2004 and 2011. Just great. The fact that they got these. We got a 60-page perfect bound book with new writing by a bunch of people. including Kayla Janice and Brad Stevens, who are on here with archival writing. This movie, tell us about it and why you're excited.
It's a wild ass film. Like I do typically in October, like whole day long watch parties.
Yeah.
For my channel, just whoever wants to join. And one year I had everyone pick a movie, and someone picked Miss 45, which I had not seen before, and I was just floored watching this movie. It's one of those assault revenge films. And I'm typically not huge into those, but the way this is shot, it's so interesting. The character is so interesting because she's like mute is one of the things about it. It gets really wild, and the revenge is very satisfying in it. It's so interesting. And there's like a trumpet saxophone in it, which doesn't make any sense to me. I remember watching that and just commenting on it while we're watching it. I'm just like, why does that trumpet sound like a saxophone? Like, it's weird, but it's got a great finish too. Really good movie. Really good. And I've been wanting a new release of this ever since I saw it some years ago. So I got super excited when I saw this.
Yeah, this is very good. One thing I did want to highlight, which I didn't mention at first, but have to point this out. One of the best in the game, Sister Hyde, the artwork for this, which could have just been the original poster and all of us would have been happy, but the way this is a perfect homage of that poster and the character, this is a masterwork. And this is so one good. I would likely hang the poster for this in the room. It's incredible. Absolutely killer choice. Yeah, no notes. This is pretty much a perfect choice for a release for Arrow. Stoked on this.
So
next up from them, we just talked about this recently, and everybody knows it, so we won't spend a ton of time on it. But on October 27th in the UK, October 28th in the US, they're doing a Steelbook version of their Trick or Treat 4K release from 2007, the Michael Dougherty anthology. It's a great movie. Most of us love it. That being said, they're clearly just out to make a lot of money with this. And granted, you'll be able to put out 5 other movies that will surprise us, so I'm glad you're going to make your bank. This has nothing in it that will interest me. I don't need a Steelbook for this movie.
Yeah, I actually bought the 4K very recently to upgrade because I had it on DVD, and then I upgraded to Blue, and then I upgraded again to 4K because I watch it every year. It's one of my favorite Halloween films. But yeah, and for people who don't know, they're actually going to be putting out a new comic follow-up. I got in on the Kickstarter for that, so
nice.
Should be. I hope the stories are good.
And then the quote sequel, I guess, has been in development hell for like
forever,
11 years, literally.
Yep,
They came out, I can't remember, I think it was at a convention or like a weekend event or something like that. They came out and said, we're announcing Trick or Treat 2, and nothing has happened from that since then.
Yeah.
Next up, though, I will take full credit for this because clearly they put this together this quickly. October 20th, UK, October 21st here in North America, we're getting a Blu-ray of 3 and 3 Extremes. If you watched my this episode with Andy a couple weeks ago, or was that last week? Time is not a real thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I begged for a Blu-ray release of 3 Extremes and literally immediately got it answered. Very, very happy that this is coming out. Not to mention the fact that they also have 3 as part of this. I did not think they would because 3 Extremes is the big draw for most people. Very stoked on this, even though it does not have the full-length release of Dumplings. We don't need it necessarily. Like it would have been a nice icing on the cake sort of situation, but new 2K restoration of both movies by Arrow, just incredible. We are getting new interviews on pretty much every single thing that we're getting in this. We're getting commentaries. We're getting older interviews that are newly edited. This is a really great package of just some really fun anthology movies. Have you seen 3 Extremes?
Yeah, I own it, actually. I've actually been doing a series of short videos on my YouTube channel that are just for the people at the highest level of membership, the possession level, of hidden gems in my collection, and 3 Extremes was one that I did. It's very good. All the shorts are really well done. My favorite is Cut, the one by well, I say Chamwook Park. I know everyone says Park Chamwook. I think it sounds better as Chamwook Park. So yeah, phenomenal. Big fan of that director anyway.
Yeah, this is a knockout. Anybody that's been crying for this release for years, this is exactly what we could have wanted. For anybody that's never seen it, I'll bring it up again. 3 Extremes specifically, I think, is the better of these two, but it's 3 shorts. They're not as short as like most other anthologies that people refer to when they talk about anthologies, but they're 25-ish minutes long, all 3 of them, all done by masterworks of the genre. They're incredible. They're, as usual in an anthology, they're not all of the highest quality, but they're all at least very, very good, which is pretty rare with an anthology. And 3 Extremes is pretty much a must. If you like J-horror in any sense of the word, if you like anthologies, this is a must own.
Very good.
I'm so stoked for this. One I'm less stoked for. October 6th in the UK, October 5th in North America. They teased this earlier this year. We are getting a 4K or a Blu-ray release of Spawn from 97. This, if you love the movie, this is a pretty good, solid release of this. We got 4K disc will have the director's cut. You got new commentary with Dave Baxter, who is a podcast host and comic book expert. You've got a new interview with Michael Jai White. You've got a new interview with Melinda Clark and DB Sweeney. New interview with the special effects artist Howard Berger and Greg Nicotero. New interview with the music supervisor Happy Walters. There's even more. Plus, they got archival featurettes on here. And then there's a second 4K disc of the theatrical cut. And the fact that you're getting both on their own disc is just really telling of the quality that they're putting into this. This is going to be a really solid release for them. Are you a Spawn fan, Carlin?
I do like this movie, and like one of the best soundtracks out there. Honestly, if you haven't heard the music from the
it's pretty good
soundtrack for it. Very, very good. I like the film. Yeah, it's not great. I love how stupid John Leguizamo's performance is, and it's like so over the top and ridiculous. Like he was feeling himself when he was making this movie. But it's my kind of stupid. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Yes, we got the comment here. Isn't Spawn that movie with a really bad CGI cape? Yeah, the CGI in this movie is really terrible. And honestly, I am kind of worried about what the 4K is going to make the CGI look like, because there's no way in hell they went back to re-render all of it. So,
oh yeah,
hoo boy. One that I wouldn't mind rewatching, but this is not one that I'm going to buy. And then, for many people, this was maybe the biggest title of this month. October 27th in the UK, October 28th in North America, a 4K only release, no Blu-ray disc, of John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. Amazing movie. This is not one that gets enough attention ever, and it's because it's Carpenter. If this was almost any other director, this would be their best movie. It is that good. Sam Neill is incredible in this movie. Some of the effects and what they do with the setting in this movie are surreal in the best of ways. This is just really great Lovecraft. As far as extras, we got a new commentary by Rebecca McKendry and Elric Kane, who you've heard on podcast for years if you're a horror fan. Newly filmed interview with Sandy King, Carpenter, which is really great. New interview with Jürgen Prochnow, and then all kinds of archival extras. But then new writing by Guy Adams, Richard Kadri, George Daniel Lee, Willow Caitlin McClay, Alexandra West, and again in the chat, Mr. Josh Hurtado. This is a masterpiece, and look at that, we got a cat.
This is Willow. This is the older one. I thought she wouldn't show up, but she's also a lap hound. She loves laps.
Had to make an appearance. Nice.
She's a gorgeous girl. She also has very stubby limbs.
So, In the Mouth of Madness, how are you feeling about this one?
I really enjoy this film. I think this film is great. Sam Neill, like you said, is phenomenal, and it's a very effective horror film, but it's also really fun at the same time. Like getting all the pieces of the Sutter Kane story that end up manifesting in this town. Yeah. It's a great ride. I love it.
Yeah, there's so much about this movie that makes it unique and special. And if you've never seen it, please make an effort to. Even if you're like not a fan of usual Carpenter things, he has done Just like Aaron is saying in the chat, he's done so many off-the-wall different genres mixed in with things. I mean, Assault on Precinct 13 is a Western, basically. But this is an absolute masterpiece in his filmography. I think it's pretty perfect. It's just it's Carpenter, and if if it wasn't him, this would be looked at as an all-time classic, and I think it is. You got a question from Ronnie. Is Willow named after Willow from Buffy?
No, actually, I still actually haven't even seen Buffy, but we actually named her Willow because she actually went through a lot before we got her. And willow trees, there's this whole thing about bending but not breaking type thing. So it was this poetic thing about all the stuff she's been through. She had a lot of health issues. Her previous owner passed away. She was separated from her brother. Like, yeah, she had a hard time, but she's been doing great now.
Well, and she's older, so must be doing well.
She's 6, yeah.
All right, going to our next one, which again, crazy that you got this lineup this week because we got a lot of fun stuff to cover. The next Mondo Macabro pre-order session is going to be next Thursday, August 7th at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. All 3 of these are coming on Blu-ray, and they are going to be limited quite lower than usual. Not inducing FOMO in any way. If you don't like these titles, don't buy them, nothing like that. But if you're one of those people that's like, I'll get Mondo Macabro soon, they are limiting all 3 of these to only 1,000. They just didn't think that they would sell super well, so they're limiting to less than they normally do, because it's kind of a low-key drop. But if you're into their sort of genre fare that they do at Mondo Macabro, these all sound incredible to me. So you may want to pay attention if you're normally into that. So this first one is The Power of Darkness from 1976. This one is the first English-friendly release of this title, and they say this is a must-watch for adventurous film watchers. Brand new 2K restoration, or sorry, it doesn't say brand new. I'm assuming it's fairly new. 2K restoration from the original NEG on this one. There is the Spanish language track with newly translated optional English subtitles. I believe they corrected this later to say the dub is here. Don't quote me on that one. I will have to check my notes, and they added it after I posted these. There is a short video that's just teaching you about the film. And then in the extras, they got a 24-page booklet on the history of Argentinian genre films, which to me, like, that sounds like a must-read sort of thing. Mondo Macabro, have you, other than what you just showed in the pickups, have you checked out much from them in the past?
Not a lot. I did purchase Bahachi Bushido, which I have not watched
Amazing
yet.
movie.
And there was something else I had gotten from them, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, In the Folds of the Flesh, which is a really wild Giallo film. Yep. I'm big into Giallo, by the way. I have a ton of Giallo reviews and Giallo-esque reviews on my channel. I went through a stint of like 2 years where I was watching and in-depth reviewing tons of those films. But In the Folds of the Flesh is one of the wildest endings to like a Giallo film I've seen. So, but this one, I'm not familiar with this film, but it sounds kind of interesting. And when you say Argentinian, I haven't seen a lot of Argentinian film. I just think Damien Rugna is pretty much all I think of at this point. So yeah, I'm adventurous. Maybe I need to get it. I don't know.
yeah. This is one that's a must for me for sure. Especially, I really want to read that essay. Mm-hmm. Next up, Forbidden Game of Love from 1975. This one says, again, the first English-friendly release of this film. It is fully uncut and restored from the original negative here. This is a new 4K restoration from the negative. The Angel Sala, who is the Sitges Film Festival director, there is a piece on here by Angel, who's doing a piece on the director, Eloy de la Iglesia. De la Iglesia has got releases from Severin, and I think one of the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels in the last couple of years. A lot of stuff sort of getting rediscovered in this filmography. And so what I've seen from this director, I've truly enjoyed. Again, 24-page booklet, and Ismael Fernandez is the one that's writing in this one. And to me, yeah, this is like the perfect sort of Mondo Macabro type of releases.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this one.
Same. Josh says, the thing I love about Mondo Macabro is that about 90% of their releases are films I've never seen or heard of, and I feel the same way about Deaf Crocodile. Both of those groups are the curation is off the wall, just perfect for my taste and discovery. Because again, like, you know, we were talking about Vinegar Syndrome earlier. A lot of the stuff that VS is sort of leaning heavily on now, I've seen at some point.
Sure.
I'd much rather be you know, uncovering gems like this that I never heard of. And then we got a question. Silent Mandible says, Ryan, you said these are only limited to 1,000. Yes, but they will likely still get a standard later. So don't feel pressure to buy the limited necessarily. If you're one that is going to get the limited, you might want to get it earlier than later. And it will still, like, if you're going to buy all three, they do a bundle discount. And you get, I think, a couple bucks off of the price and a couple bucks off of shipping. So if you really want all three, it is kind of a good way to get all of them. And then Reservoir says, I blind buy every Mondo Macabro title. They've earned it. Yeah, I honestly, same. Exactly the same. And their last one, which is one that I may be the most excited about. This is called I Hate My Body from 1974. And this is sort of continuing their gender questioning releases that they've been putting out recently. And I just wanted to read this one because it sounds so interesting. Lecherous businessmen Ernest and Peter go out for an evening of fun with two girls from work. There's a lot of drinking and dancing and more than a little suggestion of frolics to follow, particularly when Ernest has the idea that they swap partners. The two men set off in their cars with their respective dates. Ernest, in no fit state to be behind the wheel, roars with laughter as they speed off into the dark night. Momentarily distracted as he glances at his attractive passenger, he loses control of the car. They crash into the side of a bridge, and the vehicle bursts into flames. The bodies are rushed to the nearest hospital, where both Ernest and his passenger are certified dead on arrival. However, the hospital surgeon, Dr. Adolf Berger, a former medic in a Nazi death camp, discovers that Ernest's brain is still intact. Encouraged by his female assistant, Lydia, Berger decides to try out his long-cherished experiment, transplanting a brain from one body to another. However, the only body available is that of a young woman, Leda Schmidt, also technically dead in the hospital morgue. Casting aside all scruples, Berger begins the operation. This outrageous film, which now has much contemporary relevance, was directed by horror specialist Leon Klimovsky, the man behind Paul Naschy's Werewolf and The Vampire Woman, and numerous other Spanish fantasy classics. Immediately on that last part, I am super in. Brand new 4K restoration from the OCN. This is the one where they got the dub, so not that earlier one. Choice of the English dub or the original Spanish with optional English subtitles. We got an interview with the actor Manuel de Blais. We got an interview with Spanish film expert Angel Sala again about the film itself, and then an audio commentary by Rod Barnett and Troy Gwynn of the Naschy cast, and then another 24-page booklet by Ismael Fernandez. Yeah, this sounds really interesting.
It sounds wild, and yeah. I'm gonna bet. I'm making a prediction that the first thing this dude does when he wakes up in a woman's body is play with his new titties.
It would not surprise me in the least bit.
It has to. Like, I feel like that's what they would do.
Sibner is saying Adolf Berger was the rejected McDonald's character back in the 70s. I heard that was the 50s, but anyways. Let's keep going. So yeah, that's Mondo Macabro. Next Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern in the morning. Check that out if you are into Mondo Macabro. Limited to 1,000 for all three. Imprint last week during this show, they don't give me any rest, of course. Brand new releases for their Imprint Asia line. September 24th, all of these are coming on Blu-ray out of Australia, and they're probably going to be a little expensive. The first one is Father Knows Best, a trilogy directed by the one and only Ang Lee. This includes Pushing Hands from 1991, The Wedding Banquet from 1993, and Eat, Drink, Man, Woman from 1994. There are new interviews on here. There is some archival extras. There is kind of a lot on these three films. And if you are into Ang Lee, this looks like a pretty great release. Very, very happy to see that they're doing something as exhaustive as this. Looks like a really fun title, actually.
Yeah, I don't know anything about these films.
I don't either, but Ang Lee is really great, and I definitely want to see these.
Agreed.
Brian says Pushing Hands is very worth watching. Nice. Oh. The original Wedding Banquet is great. Haven't seen the other two. An Ang Lee box set, says Craig. Yeah, check it out, Craig. Let's go to our next one. This is the An Autumn's Tale from 1987. This is Imprint Asia number 29. This is limited to 1,500 copies. This has new audio commentary by Walt Cha, who is on all of the Deaf Crocodile releases, writing in their booklets. Great writer, great critic. Going to be an incredible commentary, guaranteed. A couple interviews on here, but not a title that I have seen before. Although I think this was released by 88 Films, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, I haven't seen this either, but that dude looks very awkward standing the way he is.
Yeah, a little bit. An Autumn's Tale was released by them over in the UK. Last July. Funny enough,
not the greatest cover art, but
no, but that's probably the original poster. Yeah. Sadly. Going to the last one from them. This is 1994's Picture Bride. This is the first time this has been on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. This is it was nominated for an Independent Spirit Award, and this has the big draw for this one, Toshiro Mifune in his final film role in 1994. That is pretty damn rad. We got a new visual essay on this by Walt Cha, so he's on 2 of this month's releases. New interview with the professor, Daisuke Miao, and then there is some archival extras on here, including an audio commentary from the director. Toshiro Mifune. You into Mifune at all?
Not familiar whatsoever, but this artwork looks better.
Kurosawa's right-hand man in most of his films.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Let's keep going. Man, maybe one of the most controversial announcements of the week, except I posted about A Nightmare on Elm Street, so probably not. But September 23rd, U.S. release from Decal of Watch the Skies from 2022. Now, why is this controversial? So, listen to this second paragraph. Watch the Skies is the world's first theatrical full-length feature to use AI for immersive dubbing, making the characters appear to be speaking English even though the original film was shot in Swedish. This pioneering approach made by AI company Flawless seamlessly integrates the voices of the dubbing actors, so it's not using somebody else's voices, it's their own voices, into the film, ensuring perfect lip sync and eliminating the need for subtitles altogether. Note 1, I want subtitles. Why are we eliminating those? Those are a good thing, not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. The film is dubbed by the original Swedish cast speaking English with full endorsement from SAG. That's note 2. This is a problem. No, thank you. Flawless is leading the charge in, this is note 3. How is this a sentence? Ethical AI filmmaking, pushing boundaries and creating a new era of cinematic storytelling. This is one that I posted the trailer for this, and I want everybody to open the trailer. If you can copy here, I'll even post the link in the chat. Open this in a new tab just so you can get pissed off with me after the show. This is a wild trailer. So they are saying they didn't use the word flawlessly. What does it say? Ensuring perfect lip sync. You know what? That might be true. But the crazy thing, you watch this trailer, some of their lips look like they're from a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh, no.
This does not look good to me. This is a hard no. I'm also pissed because they did not give any details on if it includes the original version. It's like they only listed, hey, we are dubbing this with our own voices. Be proud of us. This is a crazy thing to do, especially because this got a short festival run in the original Swedish in the US already. Why are we going through the trouble of doing this?
Yeah, I don't. It's one of those things where it's like, we can do it, so we're gonna do it. Didn't think whether it was a good idea or not. And I mean, that's just AI in general, I think. But
yeah. There is so much problematic in this announcement for me. I agree with Colton here. Don't get rid of subtitles. There are many of us that are not even necessarily hard of hearing itself, but many of us are, first of all. But second, there are a lot of us that just can't capture it all by listening and watching the visuals at the same time. And so we want a way to back up the dialogue in case you miss a part of a line. And this is just a bad idea through and through. I don't know if this is just I don't know, like a try to grab the dumb American audience, essentially, of, hey, we don't go to foreign films. Well, you don't have to. This is in English. If that's the case, like, just overall boo. This is a bad move.
Not into it. I won't watch. I'm not gonna watch it.
And that's the shitty part. I've heard this is really good. Even Josh just said he saw it on the festival circuit, and it was good in the original Swedish. And we just don't need this.
So will it be available in Swedish anywhere in the US? Will you be able to stream it somewhere?
I'm not sure. They've not announced if the original will be available. The worst thing is this is available in the original Swedish overseas without English subtitles.
Mm.
So if you want the original and they don't do it here, you're probably fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sucks. Carrying on, we are getting a release soon from Bushel Productions, which is just the production company of the director for this. This is Cheech and Chong's last movie from 2024. I am shocked that this is getting not only a 4K release, but a 4K Steelbook, and we're rolling it out. For those that don't know, this is a documentary of sorts, just about the Cheech and Chong story that they made just in the last few years. Did not get a huge rollout. I think most people, even the ones that love Cheech and Chong, did not get a chance to see this yet. So here we are. Were you ever a big Cheech and Chong guy?
I haven't seen a single movie. I mean, I could enjoy it potentially, but I don't know. It's never really appealed to me that much. It seems a little too dumb for what I'm into. I don't know.
On top of the appealing there, we were just talking about AI. The art on this is very clearly really bad AI, pretty much across the board on the front and the back. Yeah, this is also not for me. Not a fan. Back to back. November 3rd, over in the UK, they are putting out a 4K Steelbook of The Bride of Frankenstein. This shouldn't be surprising. Universal has milked these for the last almost 100 years, and they will continue to forever. But to me, this might be the worst art I've seen for a Universal Monsters release ever. I'm sure some people like this, but to me, this is just the laziest cover art, to just slap her on there and take out all of the heart and soul of this. Universal Monsters, are you into those?
I actually have not seen any of them. I have the whole box set, the Blu-ray box set, and I keep meaning to watch through them like some October or something, and I just haven't gotten there. There's just too many movies.
Yeah, that is unfortunately the truth. I love this comment from Chris, so I wanted to point this out. I didn't see this wording on the last announcement. It said, includes never-before-seen features on a streaming movie's physical media release. So yeah, of course nobody has seen them. It's a brand new film, and this is the first release that isn't on a shitty streaming service. Oh, man, that's funny. And of course, I have to do that at least once a week. Next up, I believe this was announced at Comic-Con this last weekend. September 23rd, we are getting a 4K Blu-ray and DVD release here in the US from Warner Brothers of Aztec Batman Clash of Empires from just this year. Now, to me, this sounds really cool, and I really like this cover art. I got to admit, I watched the trailer, and I'm not stoked on the animation style on it, but I do kind of want to support this. DC is usually really great with animated stuff that they're doing. This says, it's the bold reimagining of the Batman legend unfolds within the vibrant and fierce culture of the 16th century Mesoamerica. In the time of the Aztec Empire, tragedy strikes Yohualicotl, a young Aztec boy, when his father is murdered by Spanish conquistadors. To warn King Moctezuma and his high priest Yoka of imminent danger, Yohuali escapes to, I'm not going to say this word right, Tenochtitlan. That's probably completely wrong. There, he trains in the temple of the bat god Zenekian. That's also wrong. With his mentor, developing equipment and weaponry to confront the Spanish invasion and avenge his father's death. Along the way, he encounters key figures like the fierce jaguar woman and the enchanting Forest Ivy. I like this idea overall. There's some behind the scenes stuff on here, some interviews with some of the screenwriters and stuff. Yeah, DC animation. Are you into any of that stuff?
Well, I think that word may have been Tenochtitlan.
Most likely. That sounds a lot
Potentially.
better. Yeah.
But I do like some animated stuff here and there. The Aztec aspect of it sounds very interesting to me. As far as the animation style thing goes, I was not a fan of the animation style of Predator Killer of Killers, but I ended up really liking that film. Like, I just got used to it after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So don't let it hold you back.
The big thing I want to point out here, I love that DC did this, because what they are burying the lead with here is they went and hired all Mexican animators to make something for Mexican animation. I believe this is the entire studio that did this is all for Mexico. Love that they did this. Love that they did something so unique and used styles in a way that was just really great. Yeah, I am super curious to check this out, but I will wait for reviews for sure. I don't post a lot of the music ones, but this one was so damn personal to me, I had to. September 12th, we're getting a Blu-ray here in the US from Warner Music of Tom Petty, Somewhere You Feel Free, The Making of Wildflowers from 2021. This is so cool because in early 2020, a collection of 16 millimeter film was discovered in Petty's archive, including never before seen footage capturing during the making of Wildflowers. I was huge into Tom Petty growing up. He was the first person I ever saw in concert when I was like 3 years old. I have pretty much everything Tom Petty I could love, and this is just so rad that we're getting something like this. Yeah, we'll be checking this out. This poster is hilarious.
It's terrible.
In October, we are getting a Blu-ray release in the US from Kino and Dark Force joining forces on this one, of The X from 1996. This is directed by Mark Lester, who did Class of 1984 and Firestarter, Commando, Showdown Little Tokyo. They make sure that they highlight that the art is not final here, but this is the theatrical poster, which if that is telling you of the quality of this movie, there you go.
It reminds me of the CGI in Wishmaster, which I love Wishmaster, but that part where, like, I think it's Kane Hodder's character, like, flies apart, like, it looks like that.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, I don't like that scene. I remember. Ronnie saying, hope you'll consider posting more music Blu-ray news. I do, for at least when it's visual. The hard part is a lot of these classic albums are getting Blu-ray releases right now to get the highest fidelity of audio. So we'll see. I'll do my best, Ronnie. I promise. We talked about this show fairly recently when the first one got announced, so we won't go too deep into this. But September 1st, Old Gold Media over in the UK is releasing The Sweeney Series 2. Are you super into like British shows?
I used to watch a bunch with my parents when I was younger, and my mom is like all about BritBox and Acorn TV and stuff like that. So this is probably something she would be interested in.
Yeah, I think that it's incredible that they're genuinely restoring all of these episodes. That is really cool. I mean, this is from 1975, so a 50-year-old show that doesn't have like any pop culture relevance right now, unless you're from that generation. That's really cool that they're willing to go back there and do that. There is all kinds of extras on here, interviews, introductions, commentaries, but solid looking set if you're into British TV.
Yeah. I am going to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back.
Please do.
I'll mute.
You got it. I'm going to keep going with a couple of these. September 29th, we are getting a 4K only release in the UK from Screenbound Pictures of The Return of Swamp Thing from 1986. This is a decent looking release compared to the US release. There is only archival stuff on here, but they do have some like paper extras if you're into those things. But the big thing here, this is Heather Locklear. What is this like airbrushed abomination on the right in this picture? Art for some of these releases this week is just pure terrible. Not my thing. Fun movie, but good Lord, these are not great. Next up, in 2026, Kino is releasing a 4K of Hang 'em High. This is the Eastwood film from 1968. Previously, this was a Shout Select title. So kind of interesting that Kino pulled this one out. I don't think that Shout was ever going to renew this. I have a feeling it probably didn't sell that well for them because it was very out of nowhere. I'm sure this will look great. Kino is kind of grabbing all of the Eastwoods that they could. And I'm sure this will be great. And we'll find out more about this soon when we get some details. We did get art on this, and of course it happened about a day and a half after I posted this. So this is just the original poster art, but the new art is up on the Fun City site, so you can go check that out now. We are getting a Blu-ray soon from Fun City of Goodbye Columbus from 1969. This slipcover is going to be exclusive to the Fun City website and a Diabolic DVD as usual. This is going to have some special features on here. We got a new video interview with the composer Charles Fox, new audio commentary by friend of the channel Bill Ackerman, booklet with new essay by Jim Healy, and then they are going to be creating some new extras that will be on here. We don't even know a release date yet. This will be coming soon. Fun City is kind of just quietly killing it. Definitely going to have Jonathan from Fun City on again here soon, and we'll be asking about this and the Fabulous Stains, which we'll hear more about here soon. Are you into Fun City editions at all, Carlin?
Haven't seen anything from them.
They got some good titles. Definitely recommend checking them out. Weber is asking, when is the announced Fun City release of Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Saints coming? It has been sort of delayed. They had some work coming on it, but we never got an announcement date on it yet. So it is coming. We just don't know exactly when. September 1st, we're getting a 4K release over in the UK of the Alto Nights from this year. This is starring Robert De Niro and Robert De Niro, one of multiple films this year with an actor playing multiple roles. I've heard this is terrible. I will not be buying this, but I know Craig has probably seen this or will be seeing it. Did you see the Alto Nights this year?
No, and the artwork looks not great. And I don't know, like, is De Niro doing good stuff now?
I mean, he did with Killers of the Flower Moon, at least.
I haven't seen that, but I heard great things.
It's a great movie. I think that one's even sort of slept on for a Scorsese movie. Craig says he needs this. Oh man, we got jokes. I prefer Soprano Nights, and then I prefer Shanghai Nights. Aaron and Adam, that was pretty good. Next up, the Tom Savini, Night of the Living Dead, which we covered on here a couple weeks ago. Just wanted to point out that this is getting a release in the UK, just like I speculated. This will be coming on September 22nd, which means the US release will be coming the following day, September 23rd, which is ending up being a very busy day for releases in the US. If you are into horror, September and October are going to be a troublesome time for you and your bank account.
Yeah, and even though this is getting a nice looking release and it is a good movie, I bet Tom Savini's still salty.
Probably, even though he got his exact cut on here, which is crazy. It's just Savini, and he's always salty.
Yep.
By the way, this was approved for the uncut release over in the UK, so all of the release details will be the same for here in the US and the UK, so you don't have to worry about that. I know a lot of people are worried about getting this release because it sold very quickly on Amazon. If you see a store selling the UK release, it's the same thing. Just pick it up. Man, this is so cool. So October 14th, Cult Epics putting out School in the Crosshairs from 1981. This is the Nobuhiko Obayashi film that is just sort of beautiful. This is the same director of House. And if you've never seen this, which this was released by Third Window Films over in the UK a few years ago in a box set of all of the Katakawa films, this is a really hard to describe film, and that's why the art looks like this, because it is sort of bonkers all across the film. This is a 2K restoration of the movie. We got a new audio commentary by Max Robinson, new visual essay on here by Philip Jeffries that I produced. I think the visual essay on this is incredible. For those that have never heard any of Philip Jeffries' visual essays, he did a really great one on the Guadagnino Suspiria release from Imprint from God, I don't know. Was that last year or the year before? Now, I don't remember. But Philip loves music, and he loves speaking about history of music primarily. And so hearing about how the 1980s, like the rise of synthwave music and actual technology behind synthesizers affected everything in the world. It's an incredible essay. I really hope people appreciate it. I think it's amazing. And then another friend, Sam, who was on the show just a couple months ago, did the artwork for this and the rest of the Obayashi titles. I hope you check it out. This is fantastic. And also, there is a 24-page reproduction of the original Japanese booklet that was put out for this movie in this release. This is incredible. Yeah. Anything you want to say about this one?
When you said the same guy who did House, I love how ridiculous House is. And once you said that, then the cover art made sense.
Right?
Because I was just like, this looks wild. And then I'm just like, oh, the same dude who did House. Okay, makes sense.
Well, and not only that, there are things in this that are like legitimately a send up of some of the things in House where he's like, it's almost like an Easter egg sort of situation where he's doing it for his own movie. I think people will truly appreciate this. There are like great Japanese pop stars in this that really, really great singers, and there's a lot of music. Music is a big part of this. And then there is an upcoming release of Too Old to Die Young that Philip Jeffries did another piece on that I hope you can check it out. And then kind of on my selfish side, I just want to point out Philip Jeffries is taking a wild swing for me. He is writing a piece on American fascism for my magazine, The Physical Media Advocate, which will be coming out in the next few months. And it's going to rock your world because we've talked about what it's going to include, and it's going to go there.
Well, it's not topical at all.
No. I thankfully, there's nothing happening that will be looked at as inflammatory or anything. So that's great.
I will say, little interesting fact about me. I like J-pop music. Makes me happy.
Favorite artists?
Little Glee Monsters, pretty good. Bump of Chicken, Lisa, great.
Bump of Chicken.
Yeah, yeah. Yoasobi, right. Yoasobi's good. There's a lot of good ones.
All right, let's go to the next one, which is, of course, a Paramount rehashing of a title. October 7th, we're getting a 4K steelbook of the masterpiece Clue. Now, this might be a little weird because Shout Factory already released a 4K of Clue, and this will probably be the exact same disc, essentially. They might even bungle the encoding because it's Paramount, and they do that sometimes. But I love this movie. I got to be honest. I think this is a masterpiece, and I hope people check this out if you've never seen it because it is still very, very good with an immaculate cast. How do you feel about Clue?
I love it. It's a phenomenal film. I love like the multiple endings thing they do in it, and just the whole cast works together so well in the film. The story is so well put together for being based off a board game.
Yep. And
just like Tim Curry in it, like how that scene where he's just like running all over the place and saying like, and then this happened and this happened. It's phenomenal. I do love this movie. My wife loves it too. We watch it together every now and then.
Yeah, it's stupendous. I really want to point out Mozart's Ghost comment here, which is the year of the Steelbook. Honestly, that has been a depressing part of this week, is I feel like every single announcement is just a Steelbook. And I know most people don't want that, which is rough. I mean, we're going to start alienating a portion of the collectors to make a portion that will spend all of their money on Steelbooks very happy. And that sucks at the end of the day. Yeah. All right, so that is Clue. Next up, oh God, I forgot this was this week. October 7th, Paramount is releasing Aeon Flux on 4K from 2005. For the record, this movie was finished in 2K and has very poor CGI. This is another one of those that I don't understand why we're putting this in 4K. I get that there could be like a small bump in color grade if you do a really great HDR pass. This doesn't need to be on 4K. The whole era from like 98 to 2012-ish is always going to be questionable on if they should be in 4K, but specifically this movie, this is a bad choice.
I have not seen this movie. I just remember that I saw like a clip of it where like she almost fell on some blades of grass that were like kind of alive and like super sharp, about to like get her in the chin or something. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig is exactly right. Because there are crybabies that are 4K or die, which will also kill the physical media industry very, very quickly if they don't stop. Hey, I put up a new interview this week with Anthony from Petroglyph Media. They're the ones that put out this Funeral Siniestro and Triangulo de Oro double feature. This is their first and still only release. I hope you check it out. They are a very, very small operation doing their best to raise enough to do a second title. And I think it's a good conversation. Nice and short, like 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to it. It was a very good conversation.
Nice. Appreciate that. I wasn't going to do this. I was just going to sort of quietly drop it tomorrow, but fuck it. Why not? So I'm going to tease something that's pretty big. I put up a story on Instagram and Facebook today that had a picture of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids that said on Disconnected tomorrow. I am stoked that I have, other than Sean Baker, probably my biggest interview yet on my channel dropping tomorrow. And I still can't believe this happened. But I have the one and only Brian Yuzna stopping by for like a 75-minute conversation. And I mean, I just sit back kind of quietly for most of it and let him ramble about some of the best stuff. I hope people like this, and I hope everybody watches it because it is a big deal. Yuzna is one of the kindest, most generous people in the world. I don't think this is in the interview, but I brought Will on at the end, and Brian Yuzna is Will's favorite director of all time, literally. And this is why I wanted to bring it up, is because earlier we mentioned Society, and it is so timely to bring it up with him coming on tomorrow. But Will is going to have Brian Yuzna, who offered to zoom in to Will's class this fall. And that just shows you the type of person that he was. And it is wild that just offering from a name like Brian Yuzna is just second nature. He is so willing to be a part of things. Yeah, I hope people like it. It's a good time. It's a fun interview. The edit was very difficult because I tried to put a lot of work into it, and I hope you like it.
I'm pretty excited about that because
Nice.
he's phenomenal. And it's always great to hear that people whose work you really appreciate are actually great people in real life. So, yeah.
What other than Society, what are some of your favorites from him?
I mean, his involvement with the Reanimators, obviously. Yeah. Wasn't he involved with the Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 Initiation?
Yep.
Which, that whole franchise is a lot of fun, except for 3. 3 is horrendously bad. I cannot watch that ever again. But all the other ones, great time. But yeah.
I think 5 is underrated for sure.
Also, wasn't there a movie that he was involved with, Necronomicon, that like, is there a release for this ever? Like, I tried to watch it some years ago and I couldn't find it anywhere.
There is a release. It's in the UK or Germany. It's on Blu-ray and I think it's region free, but it is. Okay. If I remember right, I think there's something with licensing that it's quite likely it will never be on in the US, unfortunately. Jesus. Jim says Brian Yuzna is a good friend of mine. He comes over to my house to watch Blu-rays. What in the world, Jim? That's wild. Oh, Josh says there's a French Blu-ray. Is that the one I have? Is that the only Blu-ray release, Josh? Huh. Interesting. Yeah. One of the other reasons I want to talk about this is tomorrow, I think. Depending on the timeline of Amazon approving it, either tomorrow or Saturday, the newest issue of the Physical Media Advocate is dropping, and there's a big piece on Yuzna at the end because Jeremy went to a Q&A with him recently, and we talk about him and a couple others, and yeah, it's you're going to enjoy it. It's a really, really great conversation. Next up, let's get into the, quote, biggest news of the week, which everybody makes a big deal about. September 23rd in the U.S. here, we are getting a standard release of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4K 7-film collection. The UK release is going to be the day before. It'll be on the 22nd. This is going to have the theatrical and uncut versions of Nightmare on Elm Street and A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. They're going to have 3D glasses for the portion of Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and it says there will be blood-curdling special features, and we don't have release details on that front yet. Now, this is crazy. everybody went nuts for this. You can pre-order this still. It's available on Amazon. The Steelbook collection for this that we're going to be talking about in a few minutes as well, in the US seems to be out of print already, and that happened before it even technically got announced, and there was artwork for it. But we're going to talk about the artwork in just a moment. But first, your feelings on Nightmare on Elm Street. How do you rank it across the other franchises? How do you feel about it?
I think it's a really good franchise. I quite enjoy it. I mean, it's no like Phantasm franchise, I will say. Like, that's my favorite. But no, it's very strong. It gets talked about up there with Friday the 13th for good reason. Halloween franchise, not for a good reason. But I don't like this artwork. Like, it looks just super lazy and just like, can't you do something kind of interesting?
Historically, other than the theatrical posters, which are incredible, I've got one of them up on my wall up in the corner there. The Nightmare on Elm Street artwork forever has been real bad. And I don't understand why. It is literally the most iconic horror villain maybe of all time. I mean, he was a pop culture phenomenon for years, and we can't get anything better than this.
Drink some water from him.
Yeah, this is even that. It's good. It's not great.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, the poster, the original poster art for those movies is unreal.
For all of them, they're all great.
They should have just taken that same art style and applied it to this. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it is better than that AI art that other YouTubers went nuts for a few weeks ago, but that's not saying much. Yeah. But this is what made people most excited is we got the cover art from the German site Play on Pictures. They put this up on their website early, and essentially it is a Steelbook library collection. So those ones that we've gotten over the last few years with like the Rambo release, the Superman release, the Avengers. There's been like 25 of these that have gotten releases. And the library is going to be like Freddy's sweater with the red and green. And then all of the Steelbooks of the 7 films have the original poster art on there, which this is the perfect way to handle this. I think people should be happy. I think this is the best possible answer that we could have gotten. Yeah, I've got nothing to complain about this other than it really sucks to put this available for pre-order and have it sell out.
Yeah.
If something is available for pre-order, I would suggest using that as a gauge on how many to make rather than saying it's limited to whatever and we're going to just turn off the faucet.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. But this does look great. And it makes me consider getting it because what I have currently was their DVD library of the movies.
Yeah. And that one's decent, even though it's had like that's the one with the crappy snapper cases, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The art on there though is not bad. It's probably the best that we've gotten on physical media.
Yeah.
And I love everybody saying, let's see, Mozart's Ghost says, I want actual fabric on the outside of the steel locker. We're probably not going to get that. Sibner has a theory that the red and green is going to be like a see-through PET slip cover around it to protect it, that you'll take the sweater off to get into it, which I think would be like pretty cool.
Nipples under there, like burnt nipples.
It'll be the dirty work art again.
Yeah, that'd be great. But no hair because the fire would have taken care of that.
No, oh god, it'll be all flesh textured.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is neat. At the moment when this was announced, I speculated that this was going to be the same art worldwide, and now we know that this is the same art worldwide. We'll talk more about that in a little while, but yeah, this is rough because again, you can't pre-order it everywhere. It's still available in the UK, still available in France, in the US. I think you can pre-order it from Brother Belial still. Now, this is the other hard part: is it's expensive. The UK version of this is the only one that comes with Blu-rays with the 4Ks. And because it's the UK release, it's $250. The US version of this on Amazon here, which was an Amazon exclusive before it sold out already, is only $167. So it's a jump in price for sure. I'm just stoked to see these films on 4K. The Blu-rays looked saying the Blu-rays looked bad is probably not being insulting enough.
Oh. But it's someone's favorite.
It's not somebody's favorite restoration. I will say that. It's somebody's favorite movie, and that's why it deserves this respect. And I'm glad they're getting it. So we shall see. And Stan says only. To be quite honest, 7 movies from a studio in 4K and Steelbooks for $167 in 2025. That's a pretty decent deal. I mean, we're talking like one Disney movie in a Steelbook that's in 4K is costing like $50 right now. So to me, like, I don't know if that makes me cynical or whatever. I don't think that is a terrible price for on release day, 7 Steelbooks in a Steel library. Yeah. All right. Speaking of Steelbooks, it is the year of the Steelbook, like we said earlier. And September 23rd, there's a Blu-ray Steelbook coming for Chucky, the complete series. Did you watch any of the show?
Yeah. The first 2 seasons I did. Actually, it took up a large part of my time when I was quarantined with COVID. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. It really kept me going. That and Twitch.
Nice.
Yeah, but I will say also, like, franchise-wise, the Chucky franchise is one of the top franchises, I feel like, quality-wise, because it's been very quality all the way throughout, pretty much.
On top of that, it is literally the same creator the entire time, which kind of says a lot for the quality.
Well, and same with Phantasm, well, except for the very last film, but he was kind of consulted on that one. But yeah, like when you can keep people involved, I think Tremors is the same way as well. That franchise, same people involved to a degree.
I think at least 1 or 2 are always.
Yeah, like the writers, I think were involved all the way through. But that's underrated. That's a very underrated franchise, Tremors.
It's one of my favorites. Even
So
the ones, the last 3 that are just CGI, it's still so much fun.
Yeah,
so much fun.
Did you see the TV show?
I have seen 1 episode of it, and I've never got around to the whole thing. I need to.
You can still buy the whole season on DVD through Best Buy's website.
I did not know the Best Buy part. Interesting. Yeah, lots of comments on the Chucky thing. Ronnie's saying, really enjoyed the Chucky series. Stinks that it got canceled. It deserved a 4th season. Now, Mancini has said he's not done. He does plan on continuing this, whether it is another season or another film. He's saying, yes, this ended on a cliffhanger, but it's not done yet. There will be something to wrap it up. So look forward to that. It's Mancini. He's probably never going to stop at this point.
Yeah, no.
Let's see. Chucky is so wild. It took huge swings and I loved it. I gotta be honest, I've still not seen any of the show. I need to. These are for anybody that bought the series or the seasons as they came out. These are gonna be the same discs. There's not anything new or exclusive. This is mostly just getting people to buy the entire series, which they will because it's a Steelbook. And as we just stated, Steelbook fans buy everything. Oh gosh, Josh, you were so right. Josh says the amount of weirdo right-wing hate for this series is a bummer. Yeah, I got one of the most hateful DMs that I've gotten ever for Disconnected this week. Literally, somebody said the words Sieg Heil and sent me 2 pictures of 8 balls, which if you are familiar with hateful rhetoric, you know what that means. But Jesus Christ, it was unhinged for sure. Next up, another Steelbook. September 23rd, we are getting from Warner Brothers a 4K Steelbook and a standard, which I'm going to be honest, I think the Steelbook for this is quite clever, and I like that they did it. But I probably can just do it with the standard. But we're getting The Corpse Bride from 2005. Really wonderful movie from Tim Burton, which I love stuff like this. No new extras on here, but great looking animation. I'm sure this is going to be beautiful in 4K. And again, I think it's really cool how they did this. You take the little slipcover off, and it just leaves the bride on the cover. I like that.
Yeah, that looks phenomenal. We need more creative stuff like that. Like, do more of that stuff.
Yeah.
Super cool. That's a good movie, too.
I'm fine with these. It's the super lazy Steelbooks that piss me off. Yeah. Something like this, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
All right, so after that, we got, just for fun, another new 4K Steelbook of Beetlejuice from last year coming on it yet again. The most popular date of the fall, September 23rd. Nothing new on this. I think they're just trying to capitalize on the Tim Burton love and the Jenna Ortega love with Wednesday coming back. And this movie did well for them. And the first Steelbook wasn't that great looking. Not that this one is beautiful or anything. But yeah. This is already the second Steelbook for this film that came out last year.
It was an okay movie. Like,
yeah,
nothing great. It was okay.
yeah, aggressively fine, like Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Nice. Josh has a Corpse Bride theatrical poster in his classroom. That's great.
Oh.
It's a good movie. Very good movie. Okay, so there were some people speculating on this, and we got some answers on, yet again, the most popular date in the world. September 23rd, we are getting standard 4K releases of the entire Sean Connery run of James Bond. This is one that just got one of those Steelbook library collections that we were just talking about. It also got a standard of the entire run all at once that wasn't a Steelbook. But now, if you only like one or two of these, which some people do, now you can pick and choose which ones you want. But they're all coming in 4K, all on their own. And yeah, are you a Bond guy, Carlin?
Yes, actually. My wife and I do James Bond every January, where we watch as many movies through the month as we can and then cut it off at the end of the month. But usually ends up being like 4 or 5. But I had gotten the Blu-ray set. And I mean, how much better is it going to look on 4K, honestly? You know, and
probably a lot, actually.
That artwork looks terrible, though. Like, come on.
I mean, it's kind of pulpy. I don't hate these. I think that they probably could have done at least some splash of actual art with the text. But other than that, I don't hate these.
I will say the Pierce Brosnan, as much as I like Pierce Brosnan, the Pierce Brosnan James Bond's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Gary says, I love that artwork. People said it was lazy, but they don't get graphic design. I don't think it's bad. I don't know. I just like a little splash of art with it, at least. It does feel sort of like the novels that these are based off of, the old Ian Fleming pulp books. So, next up, let's go to a 4K release over in the UK from Studio Canal of Diva. This is also getting a Blu-ray release. Both of these on October 6th. This is from 1981. This is supposedly a super stylish film that I have never seen. This is a brand new 4K restoration produced from the 35mm negative and the sound negatives as well. Scanned in 4K by Transperfect Media. The image was then digitally graded and cleaned to remove imperfections from the original elements. This project was carried out by the Studio Canal team, Sophie Boyer and Jean-Pierre Boynet. Restoration and digitization with the support of the CNC. I only wanted to say that because I have to say, I love when companies are transparent like this about the restorations. We have so many places that are just 4K scan of the best surviving elements. Okay, of what? I mean, was that plucked from somebody's attic and it was a 12th generation internegative or something? Like, let's talk about what it is and find out. Let's be completely honest and transparent if we can. This has some extras on it. We got Blue as Diva, Memories of a Cult Film, Diva, about the film by Dennis Parent, and this is a French film with English subtitles. And I feel like I need to see this. Everybody seems to love it.
Interesting.
Also from Studio Canal on 4K in the UK on October 6th is Baby Blood from 1990. This is one that was released previously by Kino here in the States. This has a new featurette on here called The Concepts Behind French Horror Baby Blood, and that is by Kim Newman, and it's Kim Newman's birthday. Happy birthday, Kim Newman. All of the extras that were on the Kino release are ported over, and that includes all kinds of stuff that were, I believe, not on the Kino release as well, including the Lee Gambin and Jarrett Gahan commentary. Glad that is on there again. Lee Gambin deserves to be remembered on every release.
I'm going to attempt to make a Will Dodson joke on that one.
Do it.
You know, babies shouldn't really be joining gangs.
That is the most Will Dodson joke by somebody not named Will Dodson that I've ever heard, maybe, and I love it. Will, if you are listening later, please let me know because, yeah, that is going to be Dodson approved. Also, over in the UK on August 18th, which is right around the corner, Cult Films is releasing One Deadly Summer from 1983. This is an Isabel Adjani film that is supposedly great. Another one that I've not seen. There are some decent archival extras on here. New 2K sourced elements restored for the 16:9 version and some new and improved English subtitles. But I love Isabel Adjani. She's amazing.
Yeah, I would see anything she's in just based off of possession. So.
And Adam says this is a very steamy movie. Just warning you.
Oh.
Just warning. That means I have to buy it.
Oh, well, I'm watching adult titles now because of Ryan and Celeste, so no
Celeste
problem.
Will be so proud, by the way.
Probably.
And yeah, Ronnie, I completely agree. The title on the spine facing the wrong way on these films drives me insane.
Yeah.
Next up, the first of two times that we were talking about this tonight. August 25th, Fabulous Films in the UK is releasing Night Gallery, the complete series. This is going to be essentially the Kino Lorber releases for another territory. Have you ever seen any of the Night Gallery episodes?
I haven't, but I'm down to try.
It's a very good series. The hard part is you're inevitably going to compare it to Twilight Zone, and it's no Twilight Zone. It was never going to be, but it's very good. There's some very special standout episodes.
Cool.
Next, one of my most exciting releases for this week, October 7th, we are getting a Blu-ray and DVD release from Warner Brothers of Peanuts, the 75th anniversary Ultimate TV Specials collection covering from 1965 to 2011. This is going to have 5 decades of the beloved Peanuts TV specials. There's going to be 40 of the 45 total specials. They will never likely be able to get all of them. Unfortunately, they did one on the Super Bowl, and the NFL is never going to allow that to be licensed because they're assholes. But I have to have this. I mean, just like my Muppets tattoo, I have a Peanuts tattoo.
Oh,
this is a must for me. Are you a Peanuts fan?
I watched some as a kid. It didn't really like resonate with me so much that I like care to watch it nowadays. But I hope the tattoo you have is kind of like over your belly button, like the Thug Life type tattoo.
Now I'm regretting that it's not, sadly.
Yeah.
It's on my leg, but it is very sentimental. My wife calls me Snoopy, and I call her Woodstock.
Oh, that's cute.
Next up from Viz Media here in the US, we are getting Castlevania, the complete series. This is the Netflix anime show, which is as somebody that has not watched a lot of anime, I watched most of the first season of this. And I got to say, the animation in this is fucking incredible. Not necessarily my style of storytelling, but I could see myself like Stockholm syndroming into loving this. It sounds like a really cool release too. It's got a 72-page booklet. It has window clings. It has tarot cards. It has a Ouija board. It has art gallery storyboards, trailers on the discs, some voice actor interviews, production animatics. This is a really fun style release for something like this. Yeah, this looks great. I will say it's a little expensive for what it is. It's like $165 on Amazon right now. I see that going down a little bit, but it probably ends up around 140-ish, which is better, but still a little high. Although it's a Netflix streaming show coming to physical media, and that's pretty great.
I mean, you're either getting this or you're getting the Nightmare on Elm Street box set.
That's true.
About
That's
the same
true.
amount. So
that is true.
It is wild how much they are throwing into this. That
Yeah.
I would not expect that. But I did watch some of the Castlevania show, and I thought it was pretty good. I just kind of got distracted and didn't go back.
Yeah, I always meant to finish that first season, and now I gotta be honest, I probably won't ever.
Yeah.
We got some release details on 28 Years Later. This is all coming on the most famous release date of the fall, September 23rd, 4K, Steelbook, and Standard. We've got a Blu-ray and DVD release, all coming from Sony. As far as the extras, it will have Dolby Atmos. There are some featurettes, including one called Days to Years, one called Capturing the Chaos, The Survivors, Becoming the Infected, Behind the Cameras, stuff like that. Did you see 28 Years Later this year?
I didn't, but I'm going to attempt another Will Dodson joke on this one. The follow-up is going to be called 28 Inches Later.
Yes, the movie famous for zombie dong, which is a weird sentence I never saw myself saying. Here we are. Yeah, good movie. I liked it quite a bit. You talked about liking British TV shows earlier. This is a very British movie, and if you're not prepared for that, it might be slightly off-putting. So keep that in mind. Oh, man. This is a release that made a lot of people go wild this week. November 5th, Umbrella is releasing Freaked from 1993, the Alex Winter joint. And they went saying they went all in on this is kind of underselling it even. Freaked is incredible. Have you seen Freaked before?
Yeah, I actually own the DVD release of it that has like the see-through slipcover. Although my cat who passed away last year puked on it, and so it like smells bad because you can't really clean that up so much. So I probably need to upgrade it.
I'm glad that you kept it though.
Well, yeah, I mean the disc
it's a party
still
memory.
works. It's a good film. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is wild, and for a number of reasons. One, that we probably should say, Umbrella has rights for this in Australia, in the US, and the UK. Now, they've not said they've not said if they're going to be doing different releases. So I'm not saying necessarily you have to buy this version, because the odds are that this is going to get released from Draft House here in the States. The UK, not sure. It could be anybody. Hell, they could have licensed it to Arrow or something. But we'll find out in due time. But they went all in, and all of the discs that come out in the future are likely going to be the same for this because they do own worldwide rights. They don't want to compete with themselves, of course. So they are the first ones putting it out. There is probably going to be a while before we hear about another release. That way they can sell as many as they can. This release is crazy though. 48-page book of behind the scenes materials, archival interviews, new essays. We've got a bumper 100+ page book with behind the scenes, new interviews, new essays by Justin Beam, Whitney Seibold, Mike Saunders, and fan art. There's a script book, an original comic book, custom art stickers, a pamphlet, custom artwork rigid slipcase, and then another slipcase, and 8 art cards, a reversible poster, and of course, it's limited and numbered. This is wild to have all of that in one release. This brick of a release is probably going to be the biggest Umbrella release yet. I'm speculating offhand. This also has a ton of new extras, new interviews, new everything. There's a new work print alternate cut on this. There is Alex Winter all over this. Yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah, it's great to see this getting such a good release because I know it's a movie that a lot of people have been talking about within the horror community specifically because it is underappreciated for the most part, and the practical effects are just so much fun. It's so over the top and zany. It has to be seen.
Josh says Draft House sent out promotional emails today advertising this Australian import, which is interesting. So maybe it won't get a U.S. release from Draft House or anybody. Maybe it is this one. That is very bizarre. That also could have just been an Umbrella contract thing where they said, hey, you can release this later, but you need to advertise ours first or something. Who knows? Jay Weber saying release from Draft House on burned on demand. These are not going to be mod discs. These are all going to be pressed ahead of time. They are making many of these, I promise. Yeah, Gary, like I said, Umbrella owns the U.S. release rights, but they can license those out to anybody because they own it and can they can license that to anybody because they have the rights. Yeah, this is crazy. Anybody that has not seen this movie, what would you compare it to, Carlin?
I don't know because it's kind of its own thing in a way. Like it kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Pee-wee's Playhouse type vibe to it.
Yeah,
but a little more adult with Randy Quaid.
What way to put a button on that. Yeah, the closest thing that I would say is it's probably closest to the early Peter Jackson stuff, but even that is still very different. Gary is saying, should we wait? The question is, do you love this movie? If you love this movie, this is likely going to be the best release of this. If you have never seen this movie and you just want like the cheapest release of this, I would probably wait and just speculate. This will be in print from Umbrella for years, even if they don't release anything. So just give it some time. If you're new to it, just let it mellow, calm down. It'll go on sale. Hell, right now Umbrella's doing a buy one get one free sale. this will likely be a buy one get one free sale, just not the huge version, just the standard in a year or something. So,
actually, the tone of the film kind of reminds me a little bit of the Aussie film Body Melt.
Ooh, that is a good call. I love Body Melt.
Yeah, fun, real ridiculous.
Yeah, and just like Jay Weber's about to say in the chat, he says, speaking of the early Peter Jackson stuff, for those that didn't hear, he surprise debuted a 4K restoration of Dead Alive in the last week. I did not post anything about that yet because there's no real tangible facts about it yet, but he even recorded an intro and talked about how he is like thrilled that the restoration is done for his stuff. So fingers crossed, we are likely going to be hearing 4K announcements for Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive, and everything here soon. I know one of the big ones that people have been asking about recently is the Frighteners. That got a German 4K release from Turbine about 4 years ago. Now, from what I've heard in the past, and this is an open secret, I'm not like revealing anything. Arrow put some of their postcards in some of their titles years ago that they were releasing the Frighteners. They still are. From what I hear, the stipulation was that Turbine had a 5-year exclusive window on their release, and we're coming up on 5 years. So the Arrow release of that should be coming in the next 18 months or so.
I would buy that. Love Friday.
I just hope it has the documentary with it, because the documentary on that movie is great. Heavenly Creatures needs a new release. Completely agree, Ronnie.
It's a lot of crying.
Stan says, once you've seen Freaked, you will love it and wish that you had purchased this edition.
Yep.
So maybe just trust it.
Yeah, just go with it.
Moving to our next Umbrella title. This is the one that was most shocking to me. We didn't know this was coming. November 5th, we're getting a Blu-ray in Australia from Umbrella of Cecil B. Demented. Are you a John Waters guy?
So I haven't seen a ton of John Waters stuff, but I live near Baltimore, and I am naturally a John Waters fan for that reason. And I've met the guy, super, super nice. Got him to sign my, as he put it, non-neutered version of A Dirty Shame, which was great. I do love that movie, but yeah. No, I haven't seen Cecil B. Demented, but I had it highly recommended to me recently, actually.
It's very good. It's also very relevant to 2025. And if you are into stuff that feels tongue-in-cheek perfect to watch right now, this is one of those really great titles. Cecil is a lot of fun. Watched this with my Patreon in the Discord here a couple months ago, and it's a really great group watching movie. Pretty much everything John Waters is. So check it out if you've not seen it. This is the first proper Blu-ray release of this film, which is wild. That being said, I got to admit, Umbrella putting this out in Australia makes me feel like this is probably likely to get a U.S. release here soon. Now, who would it be from? The odds are probably Criterion. I mean, they've done most of the Waters catalog. It would be probably in their best interest to do it here in the States as well. But it's a fun movie. It's also very different from Waters, from the rest of the stuff, if you've seen some of his other stuff and not the later stuff. There are a lot of people that feel like there is a very clear line of classic Waters and then not great Waters after that. I don't really agree with that, but this does fall into the later stuff, obviously, with it being released in 2000. This does have a 48-page booklet with it, this custom artwork case and all that stuff like they always do. And then new stuff. This has the John Waters commentary that was done previously. There's a new interview with John Waters. There's even a new interview here with Melanie Griffith, which for Umbrella to get that is really, really surprising. So that's showing that they are going all in on something like this. I have a feeling that this is going to be a pretty incredible disc. If you love John Waters, Criterion is never going to do anything to this extent. This feels like a must if you're a Waters fanboy. I didn't even realize there's a new interview with Mink Stole on here. So check that out. This is a great release.
Cool.
Next up is The Fire Within from 1963. Not one I've seen. This is a film that's going to have a 48-page booklet as well. New artwork as usual. They've got the art cards, a reversible poster, new audio commentary with Adrian Martin, who is a very scholarly commentator on the releases that he does. This is directed by Louis Malle. We got Louis Malle speaks on his movie here. And there is a piece by Kat Ellinger as well. If this is a big release, I would say, if this is a big release for you, again, this is probably the best it's going to get for quite some time. We don't know anything about any U.S. releases coming, but this is good looking release. So have you seen anything from Louis Malle?
I have not. I will say, like, this, when I'm first seeing this artwork, I'm like, this isn't my bag as far as artwork goes. But as you were like going through the photos, I was like, it's kind of alluring though, to a degree.
Yeah, I've not loved everything Louis Malle that I've seen, but when he hits for me, he hits hard. And yeah, I would say the same thing. I've not seen this one, but it definitely feels intriguing. Oh, Aaron says he loves this movie. There you go. Yeah, let's go to our next one, which is the last of the Umbrella titles, and that is All of Me from 1984, also coming on Blu-ray on November 5th. If you recognize this title, that's because this just got a Vestron release, which is still very odd to me. Here in the US from Lionsgate Limited, this is the Steve Martin film with Lily Tomlin. This has a 48-page book with essays by Cynthia Wang, Nadine Whitney, and David Michael Brown. New audio commentary with the wives Colangelo. We've got the actor Victoria Tennant does a new interview on this, and then David Michael Brown speaks on Steve Martin and Carl Reiner's funny friendship. I don't think I've ever seen this one, and I definitely want to see it. The art on this is an odd style, but I do like it more than the Vestron release. But yeah, any thoughts on Steve Martin or All of Me? Have you seen this one?
I haven't seen this one, but I do typically like Steve Martin stuff.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to see it. I don't think I'm going to buy it.
Adam says it's top tier Martin. That's interesting to hear. Yeah, I've never seen it either, Noodles. I'm very curious. Yeah, this looks fun at least. Okay, this is the second time we're talking about Night Gallery. Imprint has done this quite a few times. If somebody announces something and they have it coming, they kind of rush out and say, hey, don't forget about us. We're also releasing this. And they are putting out Night Gallery, the complete series, sometime soon as well. This is going to be packed with special features, housed in a limited edition packaging, kind of like they always do. There will be a hardcover booklet, and it will have all kinds of new stuff on it, guaranteed. No clue when this is coming out. They've kind of like pre-announced a lot of these, like they're doing Jade. They did the same with The Keep. They've got a lot of really cool stuff. In fact, tonight they're also announcing their next title, which is a 4K sci-fi film from the 80s. And pretty much everybody's speculating that they're going to have a really fancy edition of The Thing to make us all jealous of. So, yeah. This one is interesting. So for Imprint, they had announced a huge bundle of Hitchcock things just last month. And for a while, two of their Hitchcock releases were, you could still see them on the site, but you could not order them. And now we finally have an update. People were starting to get emails saying, thank you for your pre-order of the bundle. Unfortunately, they've been delayed to October 29th, which is the first red flag. And they also said now these are only going to be limited to 1,000 copies, and there will be no standard edition. On top of that, there was news of them removing a couple of special features that were previously announced. So some details on this. They said, we've had many questions on the state of these upcoming sets, and after some unexpected production delays, we are thrilled to now move ahead with these with some changes. Both will be strictly limited to 1,000. Every single copy will be individually numbered, and there will be no standard edition for these collections at all. It's now on October 29th to compensate for the delays. And the documentary Becoming Hitchcock, The Legacy of Blackmail, has been removed entirely. And then there's an audio commentary that was also removed. Now, to me, because of the way they pulled it down, it seems to me Josh is pointing out that literally just a minute ago, Imprint announced Life Force. Not The Thing. So there's a big fancy release of Life Force out there.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, they pulled a commentary and a documentary. To me, this screams like a licensing problem. That's why it was halted for a moment. And something happened behind the scenes. Somebody found out they were releasing this and said, whoa, you can't do that. And now they've been forced to change their release, which sucks, especially for the documentary. I did want a disc of that one.
Wow. Yeah, this really sucks for people who didn't necessarily get in on the pre-order, but found out about it later and we're like, oh, I'd like to pick that up. Well, guess what?
Yeah. You can still order this from a couple places, but it is selling quickly. People are buying this simply from the idea of FOMO, and don't fall prey to that if you are not like incredibly interested in these. That being said, there are a couple titles on here that have not been on Blu-ray before, and that it's Hitchcock. So for a lot of people, that is enticing enough. Yeah, Orbit had them earlier in the US, and as far as I'm aware, Imprint still had some copies just a couple hours ago. So if you're looking for them, these will be pricey 3 months after release. These are probably going to go for big money. Next up, TerraVision posted a bunch of updates, and kind of really excited about some of these. So the big one is Suddenly in the Dark, The Devil's Sword, and Children of Violent Rome are all shipping now. Things have been fixed from their manufacturer, who had a major problem. Behind the scenes, there was a lot of shit that was causing some of the biggest anxiety I've ever seen Brad and Ryan go through, and I'm glad they are past it, and we can finally look forward to the rest of the year. Following those, because of the manufacturing for those being delayed, Invader, Sledgehammer, and Arbor Day were all kind of pushed back ever so slightly to get those fixed first. And so those are coming, but it will be in the next like handful of weeks. The Gatorbait collection has been slightly delayed because we found yet some more reels for Gatorbait 2, and we're still hoping to get a perfect candidate to put the entire Gatorbait 2 in 4K from the Elements. If that doesn't work out, we're still going to put it out on 4K, except for one of the reels will have to go down to SD, unfortunately. But it'll still look great for the rest of the disc, and it looks very, very good. So just wait for that to come out. And now the big thing is their Video Club subscription, which if you're not aware, TerraVision, sort of like Vinegar Syndrome, they do this whole subscription model thing where you can get a certain number of titles and then not have to worry about them. You get everything they put out, whether it's 4K, Blu-ray, deluxe package, whatever. They are keeping those. However, because manufacturing costs have gone up, they've been doing the same prices for years, and they've raised the prices ever so slightly. And they've also changed the tiers that you can get. So they used to have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 title tiers. That's a lot to choose from. And for a lot of people, if you're getting 10 titles and they announce 10 titles in the next 2 months, it can feel very like, oh, I was a subscriber and now I get nothing. I'm already out. Why did I subscribe? So they raised that a little bit. And so now you can get 15 titles, 30 titles, or 50 titles. And the prices are still very, very reasonable, in my opinion, at least. So for 15 titles, it's $373. For 30 titles, it's $666. Of course, they had to. And then for 50 titles, it's $1,040, which is still like a crazy good price, especially because you still get free shipping here in the US. You also still get access to the Clubhouse, where you get warehouse wholesale pricing on everything that they do. And the big thing is, if you're already a subscriber up until the date of when they are making this change, which is, I think it's August 9th. Let me verify before I say that out. Yeah, August 9th. That is the date of the price changes. So up until then, all of those old options are still available. And this is so cool. They're telling you now, if you like those old prices and don't want to pay more later, you can go subscribe now and keep that price as long as you have an active subscription. So you could just keep subscribing at that same price as it keeps going on. Now, of course, something could change years in the future or whatever, but that is really cool that they're giving you like a 10-day warning to go subscribe at the old price now.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me with the way they've been doing things. And I am a subscriber, although I'm not the best subscriber because I keep emailing and saying, I don't want this one. I don't want this one. I keep kind of deferring, but I actually have gotten to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let it ride from now on. Just whatever shows up, it shows up.
I will say, the end of this update, they tease something, and it says, most important of all, TerraVision's 13 Weeks of Halloween starts August 8th. I will say, the rest of this year and the following handful of months for TerraVision are going to surprise the hell out of some people.
All right, well, then maybe I need to increase my subscription.
There are titles coming that people are going to be shocked Terrorvision were able to get, and the extras that we are putting on there are incredible. You are very much going to be hearing a lot more from Terrorvision in the coming months.
I am very excited about that.
Just wait. August 8th is going to be the kickoff, and there's, 13 weeks in a row, and doing it right this time. I know they tried this before, and it floundered, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Next up, just earlier today, Flickr Alley announced September 9th they're releasing a Blu-ray of their Flickr Fusion series, getting He Who Gets Slapped from 1924, starring Lon Chaney. This is center stage as he, a tortured clown whose signature act is receiving an endless series of slaps to the face, essentially as part of therapy for him in a way. This looks like a really loaded release. I'm so stoked that they're giving this much love and attention to this. It's got a commentary. It's got animated shorts that have been restored from the Max Fleischer library. It's got an original featurette from 2025 that explores the early days of the MGM's beloved Leo the Lion, which, as an animal lover, that's awesome to me that they're putting that on there. It's got a booklet insert. I love Flickr Alley's releases. This looks great.
That artwork, it kind of makes me think that that's what the sequel to Hundreds of Beavers should look like. Just like it would be like hundreds of clowns next.
Yes. Yeah, that would be terrifying for a lot of people. Dustin is asking, are Terrorvision planning another YouTube video for the 13 weeks of Halloween? I will say the answer is no. They're not planning another YouTube video for 13 weeks of Halloween. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. Just you wait. Next, Sony is releasing a 4K Steelbook, as usual, of The Quick and the Dead from 1995, coming on October 7th. This looks, to me, I believe, the exact same 4K release that was released previously. I don't think that first one had Dolby Vision, and this one did, and that's what Sony does. They re-release things and slap Dolby Vision on it, put it in a Steelbook, and say, hey, give us $40. This is a great movie, but I don't think I need another 4K release of this one.
Yeah, I don't own this, but maybe I should. Have
you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen
it.
There's this thing with me where I have this kind of, I'm drawn to movies that have like a tournament aspect to them, like kind of like Mortal Kombat, Quick and the Dead, like that type of thing. It's like now this person versus this person. Yeah, I don't know why.
It's a good movie. In fact, it's a great movie. It's got kind of a mind-blowing cast for anybody that's never seen it. It is certainly one to look into. It's 1995, so some of these people are young, but it's great. Really, really great. Next, another update from Air 4444, who have said that their latest limited editions of PMAC, Alone, and Mermaid Legend will finally be shipping starting the week of August 14th. This has been one of the longest running sagas of 2025. This in the Bravido Giallo box set from Cauldron, which is also shipping as of right now. This is going to include standard editions, which were also ordered from them. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but they have had a hard year with manufacturing. It has been so bad that on this graphic, they even say at the bottom, please contact us if you have address updates. That's how long it's been. They expect that people have moved since they ordered stuff. So this is crazy. If you need to update your address, contact them and they will help you out. I do not envy the emails that they have probably been receiving for the last 7 months.
No, sounds like a nightmare.
Next up, another weird update. Kino announced that their packaging for the airport 4K box sets will have to be changed. So they say the key art for the slipcase and digipack of the airport box sets will be revised. We will share the new art with everybody soon. The street date for this may also have to be changed due to this unforeseen delay. Now, a lot of people are asking why. The honest answer here, you'll never know why. This screams something legal that they had to change or update, and we will never have that answer unless somebody from Kino like leaks it or on a stream in 4 years or something. This feels like what they had to do with the extras on that Columbo box set. But to me, like the art here is good. It's not bad art necessarily. It's probably where there's something in like the original contract that somebody had to have top billing on anything to do with this film or something like that. And so we'll find out soon about that. But yeah, if you were waiting for this, just be advised you may be experiencing a delay. The original release date was September 30th, so it's not so close that they couldn't meet manufacturing, but depending on when that can get approved, but yeah, they might have to push it back further. Okay, so today, the art for the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K Steelbook that we already talked about has officially been revealed for the US. And yes, they are the original theatrical posters. And the big thing is that we can zoom in on here and find out some things like Dolby Atmos is probably present on every single one of the titles, except for the two that are uncut. They don't have Dolby Atmos on those two versions. They will include 3D glasses in the release. And then I don't know if this is to be believed, but if you zoom in here, there's a certificate of authenticity, and it shows that it's out of 4,000. Now, the rumor was previously that the US was going to have 10,000 copies, but this could be indicating why it has sold out so quickly, because 4,000 for Nightmare on Elm Street is a really small number for the US.
Yeah, very popular franchise. So why so few?
It's a good question, although manufacturing for this is definitely going to cost them a fortune, although they would make it all back immediately. So yeah. I'm not sure. This is a big one. If you were after this, like I said earlier, it is sold out in the US. It's an Amazon exclusive. However, the US release or the UK release is still available from a few sites. Just get it quick. The standard release is available. Make a choice if you want it or not. That's it. That's all we wrote on the announcements. Let's go into what is coming out next week for those that forgot. It's not a huge week, but a couple big titles at least. Master and Commander in 4K. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
I'm stoked on that one. That thing is going to look beautiful in 4K. It's a fun movie. It's the type of movie that we don't really get because it's quite practical, and yeah, it's going to look gorgeous in 4K. Sunset Boulevard 4K from Paramount next week. Better Off Dead 4K from Paramount. Friendship from A24. Loved that movie this year. Eager for that Blu-ray. Some Criterion stuff. We got Fires on a Plane 4K. The Burmese Harp 4K. The title that pissed off a bunch of people, Late Night with the Devil. Got a 4K Steelbook coming next week. Shaw Brothers Classics Volume 7 from Shout Factory. Volume 7 coming next week. Convoy 4K from Kino. And then those titles shipping from TerraVision, like we stated. Universal Theory from Oscilloscope. The Capture from Film Masters. And that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. Anything that you've got on the way or excited about in that list?
No. Not from that one.
It's kind of a slow week, which is odd for what we're seeing over the next couple months, but that's probably why is everything's gearing up for big September and October announcements.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Vinegar Syndrome has new stuff dropping tomorrow, so I'm gonna be shelling out some ducats for that.
It's a busy day, that's for sure. I mean, I'm gonna be posting announcements for like 2.5 hours tomorrow.
Probably.
Yeah, Friendship for me, Josh, for sure. That's a big one. So now we were talking about Shudder. You mentioned earlier you've been covering their stuff for quite some time. There is a weird spectrum of Shudder titles that have ran the gamut of quality. What are some ones that have not made your list tonight that you would still recommend that people check out, or maybe that aren't like underrated but are still very, very good movies?
Okay, so these should I just go? Are you talking about my honorable mentions?
Yeah, let's do honorable mentions. Why not?
I don't know how in depth you would like me to go on them, but
as in depth as you want.
Okay, so just a little bit. And I ranked them basically. So I'm doing 5 of my honorable mentions that I do think are quite underrated as far as exclusive and originals for Shudder go. The bottom one I would recommend, but still a really good time, available on Shudder right now. Vicious Fun. Smaller budget film. The acting's not like the best, but the premise is basically this kid who gets into this weird situation where he kind of accidentally stumbles upon a serial killer's support group. and then he kind of gets found out, but then he gets his ass saved by a woman who is going after said serial killers, and it is, as the title says, it's fun. It's vicious fun. It has some vicious moments to it, but it's also really fun. It is funny. It has some good comedic moments to it. Plus, it has a really underrated actor, Julian Richings, who's an older fellow, but he kind of came on the scene for a lot of people with Anything for Jackson, which was another Shudder, I think, original, actually, and did a really good job in that. But he's particularly fun in it. But it's a really fun film. Have you seen Vicious Fun?
I think so. I made a weird list that Shudder's got some of those titles that I know that I've seen them and I can't remember anything about them.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
This is one of those.
Yeah, there's some for me like that for sure.
It's tough because they, like, over the years they've cranked out a lot.
Yes.
A lot of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I think does this one have a Blu-ray from Shudder?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and a lot of those earlier ones they did get a lot of Blu-rays, but unfortunately some weird ones that were actually like pretty decent never got some discs. So yeah, I probably need to rewatch this one.
Worth it.
All right, next one from you.
All right, my number 4 is After Midnight. So this one is actually not on Shudder anymore, but it's free on Tubi, Pluto TV, and Hulu. So you can check it out in all those areas. It was done by Jeremy Gardner, who also did The Battery, if anyone's seen that. Really low budget film. Also has Bria Grant in it, who does a great job. Really good acting for how low budget it is, but it's a really well done story about a guy who's basically dealing with a creature outside of his house that comes around after midnight. But it's more than that. It's more of like an emotional thing about like where he is in his life and kind of like some loss in his life. And yeah, it's really well put together, and it's one that a lot of people should see. So After Midnight.
This is one, and don't feel bad or anything. This was on my list of 5. I think this is highly, highly underrated. He's one of those filmmakers that you can tell most likely does his best work under very specific limitations. With this and The Battery, yes, it is quite obvious that he didn't have even like a moderate budget. They are both quite small, but he pulls things off with these that other filmmakers would dream to do. He definitely has skills that people do not display on other films. I probably prefer The Battery at least a little bit, but After Midnight is very, very good as well.
Yes,
this is definitely one that if you've not seen it, highly recommend checking this out. And this one, I believe, did get a Blu-ray release, at least one. I don't remember if it got something else overseas, but I think it got is it Shout Factory that did it?
Yeah, that rings a bell. You might be right on that.
Or no, it's Good Deed did this one. There is another title called After Midnight from years ago that Shout Factory did. Oh, Arrow UK did it. That must be what I'm thinking. Thanks, Josh.
Perfect.
All right, so that's one from my list. What else you got?
Let's see if I can knock some more off. Number 3 for me of the honorable mentions, and this one did get a physical release, Summer of '84.
Yeah.
This one is available on Prime, Apple TV, and YouTube currently, so you can check it out there. It's got like this kind of like summer vibe to it, like kind of like It or like The Goonies, something like that with young kids. And they're basically in this neighborhood, and they think that one of the neighbors in the neighborhood is potentially a serial killer. So it's about them kind of trying to like convince the other adults there that's what's going on. But there's a lot of like cool like hijinks with the kids going on, and like camaraderie, and it's a really fun film. And there's one part towards the end of the film that it's very intense, and you might not see it coming. Highly recommend Summer of '84.
It's kind of jarring at the end of this because it is the rest of the movie doesn't really fit that vibe, but they sort of like I think they sort of just made like a very particular choice to say we're swinging for the fences at the end of this, so that when people walk away, they're going, whoa. And it works, I think, because if you left it like feeling like the Goonies or the Burbs, I feel like this could have felt a little samey to some other films, sort of like Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf ever so slightly in some of the scenes. But the end of this is very good, and it goes from like a preteen level of movie to very much like like this movie was made for me type of ending.
Yeah, and this one came out kind of many years ago on Shudder, and a lot of people just panned it.
And got a 4K from Gunpowder and Sky, which looks incredible.
It's good stuff. All right, I guess I'll go to my number 2. This one is free on Tubi at the moment. I do recommend a palate cleanser after you watch it. It is Incident in a Ghostland.
I've not seen this one.
So this one's done by Pascal Laugier, who also did Martyrs. So you might know what it's going to feel like a little bit. Not good. It is a very good film, though, but it's a home invasion. It's basically like these girls who grew up and their mom was trying to fight off these home invaders and ended up getting killed. And then they come back together many years later and some weird things end up happening. But there's a point in this film where things really flip on you, and it's a lot. It's I got done with that movie and I was just like, I cannot go to bed right now. Like, I need something else to make me feel better about the world. But it's a very good film.
Some iconic imagery from this movie. It's got a very memorable poster with the face on it. One that has been on my watch list for far too long. I need to see this one.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Well, free on Tubi. Price is right.
Funny enough, I think I have a media book of this, and I've just not been able to put it in yet. But I need to.
Oh, there you go. And then my number 1 honorable mention is Coco di Coco Da. This is a Scandinavian film. It's free on Fandango at home right now and free on Tubi. So you can check it out both places. So this one it's basically about a couple who lose their child in very heartbreaking fashion. And they go away for a camping trip. And they are beset upon by some menacing characters who do terrible things to them. But then it keeps repeating. That whole scenario keeps repeating. And it feels weird, and you're kind of like, I don't know what they're trying to do here, but just stick with it. By the end of the film, there's a very interesting animation that kind of sums up what they're trying to go for here, and it ends up becoming a very profound film, a very emotional film, and I was left feeling very vulnerable after I watched it, and it is phenomenal. Definitely check it out.
This is quite good, and it was Blu-ray released. Was it Canal? Do you remember offhand?
That sounds right, but I said that before and I was wrong. So
I think it was Decanalog. It might be somebody else, but I will say Decanalog has done a number of films like this. I'm going to say it like 19 times. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Coco di... I think it was... Oh, damn it. It's Dark Star.
Oh,
okay. So Dark Star... No, I will say check out Decanalog. They've done some stuff that feels like this film, actually. But Dark Star did a really good job on this release. This is one that sort of came out of nowhere from that label. Dark Star has done like a lot of very low budget sort of I don't want to trash the label. Like I love the owner. I've talked to him a handful of times, but most of the movies have not been for me. And this is one of like the 7 or 8 from them that I've really liked. And it was quite different from their usual fare. If you have not seen it, I think it is definitely worth watching. It is you'll remember it, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, Shudder's had such an extensive library. Some of these I don't even remember being Shuddered.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you covered one of mine. I'm going to throw out another one since you've been heavily detailing yours so that we can get a break for a moment. But I feel like most people know this filmmaker. In fact, you've already said his name tonight once. Everybody knows When Evil Lurks, but so many people slept on Damien Rugna's first film, Terrified. when we finally decided on this topic, Terrified was the first thing that I knew I wanted to talk about, because I was ringing the bell for this movie from day one. I think I saw this the day it was put on Shudder.
Oh, wow.
And ever since then, like, this, to me, this is at least as good as When Evil Lurks. Maybe it's a very different movie. It's definitely more contained, not leaning on a lot of like it's not even action, but like the moving mysticism in the second half of When Evil Lurks. But Terrified is creepy as shit. There are two scenes specifically that really get you. The one that everybody talks about is the dinner table scene, and I'm only going to say that because you have to watch it, and it's such a wonderfully built up to device that he so earns the shock that you get there. And what's crazy, it's not like, we just talked about Martyrs for a split second. It's nothing like Martyrs. There's nothing like gore shock. It's just the actual tension and anxiety that he's built within you. That dinner table scene will make you, like, your heart flutters if you're invested in this film. The other thing that I really love about this movie is in the second half of the film, it starts to get this awkward, surreal vibe going on that doesn't happen in a lot of films, especially in the US. And because it's this Argentinian, really great, sort of like very unique take on this mythological sort of mysticism. I don't know the best way to say that, but it's like a very spiritual movie at the end of it. I think that they approach this movie with the way that gives it just this great dignity and a very unique feeling. It does not feel like an American film in any sense of that.
I've actually not seen it. Yeah, being the person who does all the Shudder stuff. So it was on Shudder before I started getting screeners and doing reviews.
Oh, wow.
So there were a few movies that like I never found myself going back to take care of them. I did want to, but I just got wrapped up with other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been on my list. I have seen the clip of the dinner table scene you were talking about, though, and it was masterfully done. And even outside of the context of the whole film, it had a lot of impact for when I saw it. So yeah.
One more scene that I really wanted to shout out is there's this one thing where this couple is looking across the street through the curtains of their window, and it's one of those things like we see in a lot of American horror movies where they do like the mirror trick, where they show you a mirror and some like empty scene, and so you're blatantly thinking, oh, when they close the mirror, something's going to be there, and it's not. But they do like the violin strike to scare you, which is so dumb. This way that they keep approaching the window is such a, I don't know, it's just this unique way to like cause dread in a viewer that is truly invested in the film. And it shows just getting immersed in this movie, in these movies, will cause you so much more joy, like dropping your phone, seeing these in a theater when possible, doing something to be able to make these just your sole focus. It makes these movies so much better.
Agreed. Definitely.
All right. What do we got from you? Number 5.
Okay. So you didn't want to do more honorable mentions?
I'll bring up a couple at the end.
Okay.
I don't want to cross everything on your list. So just in case you're going to say them.
Okay. So getting to my actual top 5 list of the most underrated, my number 5 is The Headhunter. Now this one is extremely low budget. It's basically about it's like medieval setting, but it's kind of like fantastical, where it's this guy who literally is a headhunter who kind of goes out for his kingdom that he's a servant of, killing creatures, killing like these mythological creatures. There's no dialogue whatsoever. The sound design is great because obviously it sticks out with no dialogue. It's shot really well. It's very like kind of bleak looking. There is an interesting like undercurrent of a story there, and it's amazing what was able to be pulled off with like no budget. I actually had the honor of hosting a watch party, and the filmmakers Kevin Stewart and Jordan Downey actually attended and talked about the film with us, which was super cool. Which, by the way, they did Thanksgiving, for if people wanted a reference for other stuff they did, but also a segment. Jordan Downey did a segment in the most recent VHS that Shudder put out as well. That was the best one of that group, honestly. But yeah, Headhunter's so good, so unbelievably underrated. Anyone I talk to, no one's even heard of it. You got to check it out. It's free on Fandango at home right now.
I've never used Fandango at home to stream, and that sounds fantastic. I didn't know they had so much available that is like that.
They do.
This did get a Blu-ray release over in the UK from 101 Films. Did it get one in the States?
I think it did. I remember seeing a physical release of it at some point somewhere.
Okay, it looks like it got a German release maybe, and the UK release, and that is it. But the UK release is really good. I wanted to look this up because I remembered this being short, but I didn't remember how short. It's 73 minutes. This movie is really good. This was on my honorable mentions list, so it's kind of perfect because this is another one of those movies that you can just tell looking at this, they didn't have to have a budget for this.
Nope.
They do so much with so little for this, and there's so little dialogue, and it's literally just this incredible like world that they create visually that you immediately get lost in, and I feel like hardly anybody has seen it. Noodles, the title is The Headhunter, and this is from, oh gosh, I forgot what year. This was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah,
like
sounds about right.
Very, very good. And the 101 Films release, I believe, is still in print, and it's a solid disc. I know 101 Films is kind of hit or miss, but it's one that I had to get from them. I've got it right up there. It's genuinely a great movie and for sure worth watching. And the hard part is, again, it's short and it's not a lot of dialogue, so it's another one that you kind of got to force yourself to put the phone down and really immerse yourself in, because without the dialogue, it's easy to get lost, but it's rewarding. You'll appreciate it.
And that ending.
Yeah,
I did not see the ending coming, and it's a good ending. So satisfying.
My next one, I was going to ask you, hoping that you are the expert on this one. The movie is The Furies. Is this a Shudder? Is this a Shudder original or exclusive?
I think it is. I think it was an original. That was towards the beginning of when I started covering these things.
So this is not appearing on list when I find like the list of Shudder originals, but the Blu-ray release says a Shudder exclusive. So it's got to be one of the ones that they distributed or something.
No, it definitely is, because I remember getting a screener for it and reviewing it. So 100%.
The Furies is one. This was on my list because we're talking primarily about underrated. This is not going to be like the best film on my list tonight, because there's a lot of problems with this movie. However, very underrated because the story here is compelling. The writing is pretty good. The acting leaves a little bit to be desired, and unfortunately, because of the budget for this film, some of the effects are going to take you out of it in a couple of the scenes. That being said, this is a damn fun movie. This is about a woman that gets kidnapped, and she wakes up in this, I don't even know what to call it, like this area.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of like like a desert, but with trees.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe this. It is essentially a game where she is being hunted by these masked dudes, and then finds out that she's not alone. There are other people being hunted as well. There are some gnarly deaths. There are some really intense scenes of like cat and mouse type of running. It's a very good movie, and I feel like it came out, it got a lot of talk for like a week, and then everybody forgot it existed. The Furies is quite good, deserves a watch. It is a lot of fun, and I know that things like Battle Royale and the Hunger Games and all these other things that are sort of similar, but not at all like the Furies at the end of the day, sort of cast a large shadow over this movie. This is very unique, and because of the budget, it's going to get forgotten, which really sucks because it deserves to be seen.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty solid. Again, not like a great film, but it's definitely one of those films that you should give it a shot just because of effort that went into it. And like you said, there are some pretty gnarly kills in it. It's kind of one of those ones, maybe put it on, watch with like a buddy, or like have it on when you're doing something else in the background, you know. One of those. Yeah,
it's a good time. Next up for you.
Okay, so my number 4 is still available on Shudder right now. I don't think anywhere else. This is Gwar. It is a documentary. Scott, shout out to Scott Barber, the guy who made this documentary, because when I put my review up, he actually commented on it and thanked me for the review, which was very nice of him. He definitely did not have to do that. Phenomenal documentary. And I'm not even like a big Gwar fan or anything, but if you have like a modicum of interest in the band Gwar, like just want to know what they're about, you gotta watch this documentary. It is so engaging. It is so interesting. The story of Gwar and who they are and where they come from and how they're still existing is just very, very engaging, and it's told in a masterful way through the documentary. So cannot recommend it enough.
This is the great version of a music documentary where you could literally know nothing about the group that they are covering and still walk away from the documentary going, that was a very compelling watch, and honestly may not even be driven to check out the music, but still feel fulfilled.
Yep.
It is truly an enjoyable conversation the entire time. The work put into this, you can tell, is pretty exhaustive. From what I remember, I think there's a couple fairly big Gwar stories that people were kind of upset that weren't covered in the doc very much. But other than that, I mean, I wouldn't know that those were missing because I'm not a huge Gwar fan, but I understand if you're super into Gwar and walk away feeling like some things are missing. That being said, great stories. What this really made me want is some of the old Gwar movies put on physical media that will never come out probably. I think this is a blast, and definitely made me fall more in adoration with some of the people that have been associated with Gwar over the years for sure. And I mean, if your only influence from Gwar has been like the Joe Lynch and Adam Green side of things, because Gwar has been attached to them obviously for years, then you'll probably even still really appreciate this, because they definitely focus on that side of things for sure.
And for me, watching it, plot twist, Weird Al Yankovic is interviewed in it. I was just like, what? I love Weird Al.
I do as well. Saw him in just a few years ago here in Kansas City.
So
incredible
good.
show.
So good.
You went with the documentary, so I'm going to move one of mine up so that we can talk about docs for a minute. And this is one that people are probably going to scoff at this being called underrated, but I think this is one of the best things that Shudder has ever made in-house. And I think it's one of the more almost like required viewings from Shudder, and people still don't treat it as such. And so I really wanted to give a minute to Horror Noir. This is a documentary on the history of Black horror, and we get so many people that have been immersed in the scene for decades. I mean, you get stories from the set of classic films. You get stories of how people were treated behind the scenes. You get stories about how audiences were impacted by some of these films finally getting representation. And it's not just surface level stuff with Black horror. I mean, it could have been 45 minutes about Get Out and 45 minutes of circle jerking around Night of the Living Dead. And it's not that. They truly you get a lot of love for Ganja and Hess. You get a lot of love for even like things that most of us know are incredible and like canon titles that you have to watch, like Tales from the Crypt, which obviously is a super influential title, but you get stuff behind the scenes of those things that we've never heard from. You get people that made those films, that were in those films, that were influenced by those films to make their own films. And I think it's one of the more compelling watches of the documentaries that Shudder's made. And they've made quite a few in-house, and some fall a little flat. Some are a little on the, I don't know, like hysterical side, where they're trying to conjure more of a story than is actually a story behind some of the docs. But this is one of those ones where I can almost see like a really great sequel happening to this, and just going through like the real deep indie horror side of Black horror. And it's great. Everybody should watch this. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I will say that there are a lot of portions where they're talking to Tanana Reeve Dew, and I could listen to her talk about horror all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah. I mean, Ernest Dickerson is great in this.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is.
There's so many faces in this that immediately I'm like, God, I just want to take you for a coffee and then not let you leave for 4 hours and make you tell me stories.
Agreed.
All right. Since I listed one of mine earlier, why don't you do 2 in a row now?
Okay. My number 3, also still available on Shudder, is an Indonesian film, Impedagor.
Nice.
A Joko Anwar film. So if anyone's seen like Satan's Slaves or Satan's Slaves Communion, or there were some other ones that I'm probably missing at the moment. Impedagor is really good. So the way it starts out, it's a woman who's just working her job and some guy comes to try and kill her who she doesn't even know who he is. Then there's something discovered on her person that creates a little bit of mystery. So she basically goes to a town to try and find out who she actually is. You know, who am I really type thing. And the town is kind of weird and it's very remote and things don't feel right. And you think you might know where this film is going, but you don't know where this film is going. And it's one of those films where at the end of it, when I first watched it, my jaw was on the floor during one particular scene where it reveals some stuff you definitely don't think is going to be revealed. That kind of changes everything. And it's a shocking film. It's extremely well shot. It's extremely well acted. I don't know like anyone who's seen it pretty much, except for people I told to watch it or made watch it. So you gotta check out Impedagor. Oh, Queen of Black Magic is another film that Joko Anwar was involved with. He didn't direct that one, but phenomenal filmmaker. Like he is like a very well thought of filmmaker in Indonesia, and you can see why with these films. So
yeah, this is great. I will happily one of my long list of honorable mentions was Satan's Slaves. Joko is I mean, he's one of those auteur directors where you can tell he's very much got a style, and you can't really go wrong watching one of his films. So yeah, Impedagor is great. Also had a disc release, I believe.
I don't know. I don't
feel
remember
like
seeing it.
Have that?
It's possible.
It's bad that I can't remember. Yeah, Impedagor. Yeah, it's got that's right because it's got the eyeball cover.
Yes,
the dripping eyes, whatever. It's on sale on Amazon right now for $12. So if you are curious about this, that's a great looking disc for $12.
Or if you have Shudder, it's still there.
Touche.
There you go.
Josh met Joko, met him in an elevator in Korea before a screening of nice.
Oh my gosh. I hope he was as nice as I want him to be. Because his filmmaking is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All right, sir, you're number 2.
All right, my number 2, I believe this is a Finnish film. It is Dogs Don't Wear Pants, and this one is still on Shudder. Oh, is this on your list too?
On honorable mentions, it's one that I've talked about before, so I didn't want to go too in depth about it. But incredible! This is such an underrated movie.
Yeah, so this one really gave me a lot of feels. To be honest, it made me feel good in the end of the film. It made me feel vulnerable, emotional, bad at times. But it's basically about a guy who loses his wife in a drowning accident in the beginning. And it's about the fallout after that of him not feeling like he even knows who he is anymore, like what his life should be. And he has a daughter, so, you know, that relationship isn't working out too well at that point. But then he meets a dominatrix. And through the relationship he forges with this dominatrix in a very dominatrix way, he finds himself basically and finds what he needs in life. And it becomes kind of touching in a really messed up way. But there is a scene in this film in particular that speaks to, if you let certain scenes just breathe, just go on a little bit longer, it'll hit a different way. And it's a scene, it's very early on. It's after he, you know, sometime after he had lost his wife. He's in the bedroom, laying on the bed, and he's masturbating with his wife's underwear on his face. And at first, it just looks so goofy and funny, and it's just like, oh, dude, there's this dude whacking off with underwear on his face. But then they stick with it, and then he starts breaking down and crying. And then you're like, oh my gosh, no, this is so sad. Like, he misses her. He's trying to like still have some like bit of her around, like, and he just can't. Like, it's too much. I mean, powerful filmmaking, honestly.
So I love this movie. This was on my honorable mention list, like I said, but the big thing I think that's a problem here is that the dominatrix aspect of the story is like the main thing that the marketing for this film has always focused on. And we are in a very weird time in the last 5-7 years where we are seeing especially younger filmmakers get more and more prudish, which I don't understand in a way, but also really sucks because stuff like this that, like sexploitation films used to exist because you could sell out theaters by simply saying this is a sex film. And funny enough, like a third of the time, there wasn't even sex in the sex film, which is hilarious. They weren't sex films. But this movie it's kind of the opposite side of that. Like, yes, there is this seedy nature to some of the things that we're talking about, but it's also just like real life aspect of people being into these things. And I think there's a lot of people that have been turned off simply by the poster or the cover or the synopsis and went, I don't want to watch that. And if they did, they would probably love this fucking movie because it's amazing.
Yes.
I can't remember if I first saw that was not a word. First saw this on Shudder, or I think the way I first originally found it was actually released on Blu-ray in the UK first by Anti-Worlds, which is essentially a sister company of Indicator, and they do mostly modern films. And they released this, and I was the opposite way because at heart I'm a freak, I guess. I just showed Nikatsu titles and stuff. I saw this one. Oh, I have to watch this. Like, any company willing to put out a new film that this is the marketing is one that I want to support.
Yeah.
And then fell in love with the emotional aspect of this film. It is such a, I don't know, it's a weird reverse take on like the history of sexploitation, where it's one of the main reasons that I was interested in supporting it, but then it was the opposite that won me over. It was everything about this that was just so tender that I appreciated. And as somebody that is very happily married to a woman that I've loved for most of my life, I could not possibly express how much this movie hurts to like be relevant in your life and put yourself in somebody else's shoes and find that empathy machine that Ebert so famously referenced. This movie's a masterpiece and doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah. And yeah, to kind of what you were saying, like for me, the biggest strength of this film is turning out to be something I didn't expect it to be.
Yeah. Josh says, I had to buy the US DVD of Dogs Don't Wear Pants because I had a quote from my review on the cover that isn't on any other edition.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, you should have that, Josh. Good job. That's not vain. That's just pride.
Yeah.
So my number 2, this is Noodles. I've wanted to do this for so long, but it takes so much to prepare to be able to show a poster of each of the movies. My number 2 is a weird one because just like the Furies, this is not one that I even now think about as loving, but I think this movie took such a unique swing that I don't even remember people talking about this movie when it first got released, and I hope you liked it. 2019 saw the release of The Beach House.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is so interesting because it's not, I don't know, there's nothing like majorly compelling about the story. The acting is not like the best you've ever seen. The script is not astounding, but there is specifically this chunk of the film that is so surreal and unique in the way that they show it visually that I knew I had to put this on the list as well. It's one of those that I will attest that when I first started this film, I was not fully engaged in it. And when this scene happened, it was one of those put everything down and sit forward and just let it wash over you moments that I will probably never forget that about this movie, which is saying a lot. I mentioned a few minutes ago that Shudder's done so many films that I just watch and then forget immediately. This was not one of those movies. And again, I don't even love it, but it will stick with me for so long because that one specific chunk of the film, I don't know that I've seen much like it. Like, it felt like it got very like Color Out of Space for a
Yeah.
handful of minutes with this film, and I love that side of the Lovecraft world that not a lot of people can grasp visually, and the filmmakers behind this truly did a wonderful job with it.
Yeah, I kind of pin this as like low budget Lovecraft, and the scene with the foot, in particular, like really kind of hit people for anyone who watched it. And it's really funny because leading up to this, when I was working on my list, I was talking to my best friend, and he was like, I told him what the topic was, and he was like, "Are you going to put on The Beach House?" And I was like, no, because I didn't love it that much, but yes, it is underrated and pretty solid.
Yeah, and even if you're only seeing it to appreciate that it's not a scene, I guess it's like I don't even remember how long it was because I was lost in it. But yeah, the movie's not amazing, and you're not gonna after it sit down and go, "Dang, this is a 4.5-star film" or anything. But you're gonna really appreciate the filmmaking style there. All right, most underrated film on your list, sir.
Okay, it's another documentary. It is free right now on Tubi and Pluto TV, so you can check it out there. And it is Scream Queen: My Nightmare on Elm Street.
Such a good doc.
Very important viewing, in my opinion. It's the documentary about Nightmare on Elm Street 2 that everyone hated because it was too gay. But it was about Mark Patton, who starred in it, and how it kind of really ruined his life. But then how he grew to reclaim his life and confronting people involved in, making the film what it was without telling people what it was supposed to be, and putting him in a really awkward and tough, like life-threatening situation, really. It's very emotional. I cried watching this documentary. Absolutely. Like a few times. But it's very well put together. It's a very emotional and educational viewing, and it changes the context of what the film itself is. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Another thing I need to throw in here tied to this, and I didn't choose it as my number one because of this, but Mark Patton is currently going through a lot of health issues, and there is a GoFundMe that is up that I think his sister put up for him, that if you feel like you have some extra change to throw that way, you can just Google Mark Patton GoFundMe. It'll come up pretty quickly. So yeah, but definitely watch the documentary. Definitely.
So yes, this documentary is a masterpiece and incredibly important. One of the things that I really wanted to point out here, which not a lot of people are probably going to love to hear, especially if you've been immersed in like the horror scene for years. I think this is required viewing for anybody that loves horror and goes to like conventions and stuff, because it sort of reveals that underneath a very on the surface accepting pool of people that's all about the like, we're all different and unique and we just want the weirdos to come in and love it. Horror historically at its core has been controlled by a lot of people that are homophobic, that are racist, that are very sexist. And this documentary has perfectly shown how that mindset can literally ruin somebody's life in a movie that should have been beloved. And I've loved Nightmare on Elm Street 2 the entire time. I think it's got some of the more out there visuals from this franchise for sure. Yep. I think this is other than the incredible Never Sleep Again, this is the only other part that should be required viewing with somebody that is like discovering a Nightmare on Elm Street before. But the worst part about this is the hypocrisy behind the scene that this really shines a light on, because people just being flippant about certain things have literally ruined a man's career he had a lot of potential in so many different fields, and he wouldn't be in this dire situation possibly that he is in now if he had lived a completely different life following this film. And that is depressing and really telling about why the country is in this political situation that we've been in over the last few years, because most of these like niche within a niche groups that we find ourselves in. Many of us love a certain genre and we find friends or physical media, and we get into these. Sure, on the surface, they're really great, but then a lot of these small groups have really terrible people at the heart of it. And that's why things like the Me Too movement are so fucking important, because it totally puts the spotlight on the terrible behavior to root it out, so that we don't have to have that ruining things from the inside out, which is where things like A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 have been just completely tarnished by a reputation that never should have existed.
Yeah, agreed. And if people want to see a later acting role of Mark Patton that was only a few years ago, the film Swallowed. It's not a great. It might still be on Shudder. Actually, it's not a great film, but Mark Patton's role in it, so enjoyable. What Mark Patton does. Mark Patton is the reason to watch that film straight up, because just you could tell he was having a great time with that role, and it's great.
So this feels a little underwhelming, following all of that.
It's okay,
but
judgment.
My most underrated film, I feel like the people that are super deep into horror know all about this, but the people that are like, I'm going to see what's recommended to me on Netflix today and call it a day because that's the best thing I'll see, that crowd is not watching this, and that sucks. And this is an obvious choice. Most of you have probably seen it, but I just really want to heap a ton of praise on what is sadly completely underrated. 2022's original Speak No Evil. God, this is a movie that got a U.S. remake last year, starring James McAvoy. That I'm going to be honest, it surprised me that I liked it as much as I did. It's pretty good. McAvoy's incredible in it. The ending has no teeth, but we knew it wasn't going to. Yeah. The sad reality is it didn't need to exist. This film is astonishing in what it pulls off, again with a film that pretty much needed no budget. They just needed a couple fun locations and a really great script. This is a film that is a fairly unique story about a family going on vacation. They make friends with another family and they get invited to this random place in the middle of nowhere, and because they're now placed in a vulnerable situation, they get screwed in a lot of different ways because they keep trying to please the people they're with. And there's a couple situations in this movie that are so relatable that it hurts when it comes to somebody that is a natural people pleaser. One of them in this film in particular that I don't believe was in the remake, because I don't remember it being there, is the adults go on a dinner date with the hosts, and there's a portion where they are turning the radio up too loud, and the couple that is staying with this couple just sort of deals with it, even though they're very uncomfortable by that. That alone shows the host family you can do whatever the fuck you want, because they're not going to be able to say no to them. This has one of the just most, I don't really want to say out of nowhere, because the film itself overall is pretty intentional with the way that they display certain things, but the ending is still shocking and take things up a notch that is, again, completely unexpected for what is essentially politeness, a tragedy, the movie. And I still like, I will never forget the first time I watched that movie, and the ending just left me slack-jawed and completely like, holy fuck, if this was a film from the US, they never would have been able to do this. And then that got proven right. Like the remake, if you wanted to remake this, you had to have an identical ending to make it just as shocking. And instead they did the cliche, like there's a couple fires around the area and we're rescuing somebody from a pond and bullshit that shouldn't have existed. And all of the bite of the first film, pun intended, is lost. And goddamn, the end of that first movie will leave you just completely, I don't know, you feel so depressed after you get done with this movie in a very good way. That this is completely underrated, and people that have never seen this because it's a foreign film, or never seen this because there's a US remake, I can just watch that one, will only depress me probably even more than the ending of the original, which is shocking because it's really depressing.
Yeah, so I did quite like this film, the original, and I also did like, to a certain degree, the remake. I actually saw the remake at a drive-in theater It was the second feature after the original Phantasm. Yes. And so
That's fun night.
Yeah, that was a good night. So my wife, who's not into horror but was with me, she stayed up through Phantasm. She's like, I'm gonna go to sleep for Speak No Evil. But she started watching it and she couldn't go to sleep because it was so riveting. And she was like, oh, so I had told her ahead of time that like this is a remake. I saw the remake, it was on Shudder, and I said going into it, I'm like, I guarantee the ending is not going to be the same because they would never, ever, ever, ever do this ending in the United States. And
especially with James McAvoy. If it was like a no-name actor, there might have been a small chance.
Yeah. So throughout the movie, she kept asking me, was that in the original? Was that in the original? And then at the end, after it was done, and she was like, oh, that was good. We're driving away, and I was telling her, okay, well, this is what the actual ending was. And she was like, oh, I'm glad it wasn't that. And I was just like, it's so bleak.
Yeah.
But like I explained to her, what I like in films is when the filmmaker makes me feel things I don't want to feel.
Yes.
Because it's uncomfortable and it challenges you and it shows you that the filmmaker knows how to manipulate your emotions, which is what filmmaking should be.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds weird to call this one underrated, but I feel like it's still somehow just underseen. And I guess maybe that's a weird distinguishing word to make here, because it's, for most people that have seen it, it is pretty highly lauded, but the vast majority of people just have never given it an opportunity for a multitude of reasons. The reality is Dutch films like this rarely get proper distribution, and we're lucky that this was on Shudder. This still does not have an English-friendly high def release. I think it has an English-friendly DVD overseas, if I remember right. But like, this is a movie that deserves to be seen in HD and properly, subtitled with like a couple extras to give it some context and explain like the tension behind this movie and the unnecessary just feelings that when you watch this movie, you feel disgusting in a couple scenes and wonder why that you are the way that you are. Yeah. Any other Shudder titles you want to throw out?
No, but I thought you had maybe a few more on our
I do have a couple others, and I'll pull up a couple here, and of course I closed the tab right before. One big one that is about to get some more praise that I think is probably a little less underrated, which is why I didn't make the full list, but Hellbender I really loved. It is from the Addams Family. They've done more than a handful now. They've done like 9 or 10 films together or something like that. I think it's very good. About to get a really great looking Arrow release. I had to pre-order this one because I love a really good witchy story. And this is another group that, kind of like I did with 2 or 3 of mine tonight, I highlighted the fact that low budget doesn't have to mean low quality. And I feel like the Addams Family is like the definition of doing that with every single project they touch. This is good stuff. If you like witch movies, Hellbender is a must. You will probably appreciate it. Another one, and I've named probably 3 or 4 others, so this is probably 5, so I'll stop here. But Scare Me is another one that didn't get a lot of attention. Having interviewed for the channel Josh Rubin, this is one of the things that I saw because it had Josh Rubin attached to it. And I expected it to be pretty bad, and it surprised me. It's not terrible. It certainly isn't the highest quality thing that Shudder's ever put out by a country mile, but it's fun. It's a good time, and another one that I feel like gets unnecessary hate. So I think kind of falls squarely in the underrated category on this one.
Agreed. Oh, and going back to the Hellbender one, I thought that was a solid film. I liked their film Where the Devil Roams a lot more, though. I will say.
I like The Deeper You Dig even more, and I don't think that one was a Shudder original, so I couldn't include that one. This has been really fun. I mean, Shudder's had such a deep catalog. This was tough to narrow down for me. I'm sure you had some struggles on that bus too. Yeah,
at one point my list was like 35, 40 movies, so I had to whittle that down. It was tough.
That is pretty telling that you can have that many high quality releases that you can list as underrated, that you've done pretty good over the years. That being said, 10 years is a long time to put stuff out, and Shudder has been mostly consistent over that time. That being said, there's been a lot of dog shit titles too. I will be happily honest about that.
The Scary of 61st.
Oh my God. Hate that movie. Absolutely hate that movie. Carlin, thanks for doing this. This has been a really fun
you.
episode. I hope people go subscribe to your channel and follow you on Letterboxd. Go look up Carlin Cook. Anything else you want to shout out for tonight?
I do just want to say, like, if you are struggling with mental health issues, reach out to people. I like to kind of throw this stuff out there, and I talk about it sometimes on my channel because I personally went through some really tough mental health struggles. No surprise during COVID. That's when the wheels fell off. But I then realized I had been dealing with anxiety kind of all my life to a certain degree. So, you know, anxiety, depression, or whatever you're dealing with, you're not alone. You're not the only person who's ever gone through it, even though you will feel very alone at times. So definitely reach out. Don't do anything drastic or anything. And let's be there to support each other. Be open to hearing from other people, checking on other people. So mental health is important.
Even for the two of us, I think that we are some of the people that I would strongly recommend reaching out to specifically.
Sure,
If you feel like you have nobody else, I've seen you be responsive to other people in comments and stuff. I hope most people will understand by now that if you message me anywhere, I pretty much will always respond, sometimes shockingly fast, because I also have mental health problems and I feel like I'm letting you down if I don't. But that being said, we're all here, and I think that this community has turned into something special, and I'm grateful for you being a part of it.
Thank you for having me on. I was overjoyed when you asked me to be on. I really was. And I'd come back again. I would do it for sure.
All right, we'll have you back. Thanks. Now I'm curious what we're going to cover next time. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody watching, and yeah, look out tomorrow for Brian Yuzna. It's a hell of an interview. Can't wait. Cool. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share with someone else that may appreciate this.